Put on his computer. Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for coming back to back for day 5. It's Saturday morning here, 8:21 a.m. for you guys in the US. East Coast is Friday night, 8:21 p.m. For those on the West Coast is 5:21. For Jacob is 2 p.m. in the afternoon, and for the man, the legend, the myth that sleeps never, and if he sleeps only barely with one eye, it's 2 a.m. in the morning. DG, I'm never gonna let you go with this, brother. I'm joking, man. I'm joking. You know you're amazing. Anyways, guys, always welcome to be here. And let's get going. So thank you again for the reminder. Again, this is a reminder. Make sure you always record and have the other person to record just precisely for this because I get too distracted. All right, let's get going. Now, do you guys see my screen? Yes. Okay, let me full screen it. Okay, so tonight, oops. All right, tonight we're gonna talk about what we're all here for, how to make money with our podcast. Who wants to make money with their podcast? Or if you don't have a podcast, who wants to have a profitable, lucrative, smashingly good podcast? All right, put 1 if you want to make money with a podcast, and put 2 if you want to have a smashingly profitable podcast, impactful podcast for your business. Let's see, guys. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So tonight's call is going to be on path to leads on demand. So first of all, we're going to kick off with a banger with my good friend Mischa Zvegintzov, or Misha Z, Misha Z, Misha, the man with an incredible podcast voice, radio voice. He's going to show us how to get to grow your podcast further, and how to go on podcast tours and get even more visibility for both your business and your podcast. And once he's done, I'm going to jump in and we're going to take it to the next level. I'm going to be showing you setting up the stage for truly monetizing your podcast, even if you have no existing audience to start with. And we're going to start with identifying where does your ideal listeners, prospect, and clients hang out the most online, and maybe even for some of you offline, depending on your business. Then we're going to be mapping out your first 10, 20, 100, a billion podcast and episodes and beyond. Because once you know the steps, the principle, it just rinse and repeat forever. It's what I've been doing from day 1, and now I'm at 320 and some change, and still using the same principle, same approach. And then we're going to be putting it all together to get leads on demand to your podcast. So that's going to be fun, good way. And at the end, I will have a special exclusive invitation for all of you that's going to make you guys really happy and really excited. All right. So for tonight's agenda, you all know how it goes. So let's go straight. First of all, before we even start, any questions from day 4 or from anything we covered so far this week? Raise your hand.
Yeah, just finding the recording for it. I couldn't find it.
The recordings are posted both on my wall on Facebook as well as on the Facebook group, and I also have created a specific website where you see not only each day's replay as well as the slides, because to make it more streamlined, and I will repost those later today after this call, so you guys can access all of them in a fun and easy way. Make sure that you're inside the Facebook group. Keep an eye inside the Facebook group. That's where you'll find all the and I've pinned the replays. Have you guys been able to find the replays on the Facebook group so far? Has anyone gone to visit the website that I built specifically for you guys? All right.
Yeah, I get the website because I've been on Facebook.
Okay, good. I'll share the link as well. Make sure you get on the website as well, because it has each day's content, summary, plus the slides. The slides are important too. All right. Any questions about anything we've covered so far? Raise your hand if you want to say anything, or remain silent forever. Once, twice, thrice. Okay, let's get going. All right, tonight I'm very happy, honored, and delighted to have my good friend and super expert, very prolific podcaster. I thought I was a big shot with 221, but this guy's only at what, 2,000 episodes or something like that. So he's been in the game far longer, and that's why he's is a great expert, world-class expert in growing podcast and podcast growth and going on podcast tours. So he's here today to talk to us about that. Brother Misha, the floor is yours. Let me give you my blessings to share your screen. Okay, let me stop mine. Okay, where is he? Where are you? All right, Misha, floor is yours, brother.
Okay, let me see if I can share mine.
Yes, I
Here
gave
we
you.
go. Hopefully I get the right one. Yes, look at that. Can everybody see that? How
Yes,
would your
sir.
business and your life change if you guest spoke on 50 podcasts in 100 days? And not just any podcasts, but podcasts with your perfect audience. How about that for a question? Yeah, my name is Misha, and I'm gonna just dive right into this because Payman gave me a time limit, and then he also said, make some slides. Make sure you got some slides for my audience. And so here I am, got my time limit, got my slides.
Brother,
I'm going to
before
tell
you
you all.
start,
Yeah.
it's okay. Don't rush. Yes, there is a time, but we're flexible. So take whatever time you
Okay.
need within reason, obviously. Not till
Within
tomorrow
reason.
night, but I'm joking. Say it. Don't feel pressure. Don't feel rushed. Do your thing, okay? You have my full,
Perfect.
you
All
have
right.
my and all of us full blessings.
Yeah. Cool. So again, yeah, I'm Misha. Misha Zvegintzov. It's a Russian name. I grew up in Wyoming. That's a whole nother story. I don't speak any foreign languages. I just speak Wyoming. But uh, anyway, grew up in the mountains, skiing, snowboarding, fishing, camping, hiking, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, as Payman said, I've been a prolific podcaster for quite a while. I have 685 episodes. I've interviewed thousands of people. I've been flown around the country by clients to interview people, to get customer stories, to get testimonials. My podcast's the top 2.5% podcast.
Oh,
If you go to listen notes. So I'm out there. I love it. I've got a passion for it. And I just say about podcasting, I started super messy and it's still super messy for me. So I don't know if it ever feels like I've got it dialed in. So I would just tell you that about podcasting. Like Payman knows how to monetize these things. He knows how to get started and to get you on the right path. So he's a genius at this stuff. So I'm super excited to be here. I've been learning, and I can't wait to share with you what I know. But you'll get into a little bit of more of my history here quick. So today you are going to learn not only well, let's just start back at the question. How would your business and your life change if you guest spoke on 50 podcasts in 100 days? And not just any podcasts, but podcasts with your perfect audience. It's very powerful, very profound if you think about it. Today, you are going to learn not only what to say and when to say it, but where to find them, where to find those podcasts, and then how to get on those podcasts. And it's my welcome to my podcast guest speaking framework, my 3-step system to become the go-to authority and expert in your niche without having to waste money on social media marketing or spending countless hours posting on social media again, just in case you're tired of doing that. Some people love posting on social media. I often forget, and I hate my business to be dependent on that, and it's not. All right, who's this for? This is for heart-centered entrepreneurs. Those of us who are moving from the heart, and money is not the main motivation. Our main motivation is to serve. I'm going to tell you how how that became my main motivation. Now, some of us do need money. We do need to make money, and perhaps even quickly. And I'm not saying making money is bad, but it is not the underlying core motivation. I do have bills to pay, mouths to feed, taxes to pay, property taxes, all that, kids that have started college. So uh, I get it. How did I get here? Well, first I had to clean up. I've got the recovery years. I was a notorious drug addict and alcoholic by the time I was in high school. And when I was 16 years old, what had happened, I had gotten my first DUI. That was not enough to clean me up. When I was 16-year-old, a girl that I had been dating for a couple of weeks, she was with a friend of mine, and she died in a drunk driving accident with him. I was not in the car. I was not driving. But he was in a coma and she passed away. And I was at the hospital calling parents saying, you need to come to the hospital because your son's in a coma. And that did not do it for me. And so Judge Rank, again, this was back in Jackson, Wyoming, he gave me a choice. Judge Rank was hanging judge back in Wyoming, and I had graduated to him. This was back in 1986. The first judge was Judge Rank. Judge Horn, and Judge Horn gave me a choice. Judge Horn gave me 1 year probation, then 2 years probation, then 3 years probation. And last day of high school, Judge Rank said to me, the hanging judge said, hey, you can go to jail or you can go to treatment. You can go to jail for 6 months or you can go to treatment. And for whatever reason, the life of abuse unfolded in front of me, and I was inspired. I had that moment of clarity to clean up. And I'm not implying that anybody should or should not drink or should do not do drugs, whatever, any of that stuff. I just happened to cash that ticket in at a very young age. And I got involved in 12-step recovery programs and the 12-step modalities. And the 12 steps, it's trust God, clean house, and work with others. You got to squash the ego. It's about squashing that ego and finding that God, finding that higher power, learning how to take accountability. But mostly it's about how can we be of service. And in one of my favorite books, favorite pieces of literature on page 101 and 102, it says in this book, in effect, I can go anywhere and do anything safely as long as my motives are good and I'm trying to be of service. And so I came up with this mantra at that very young age. How can I be of service and what can I bring to the table? How can I be of service and what can I bring to the table? And I'm constantly saying that through successes, through failures. It especially helps me when times are rough. Because I'm like, all right, God, how can I be of service and what can I bring to the table here? And that's the lens that I look through stuff. Still to this day, I'm very active in the recovery community. I mentor people, and I volunteer at this place called the First Step House, North County, where it's a spin drive for people, literally drunks coming off the streets. So I asked as well, God, how can I be of service? What can I bring to the table before I started tonight? So we'll trust that I'll be channeling something good. Here's some pictures of me. See that little guy in the blue? That's me at a young age. There's me in my zigzag shirt at 16, already as a derelict youth. Unbelievable. 1980 something, 84. But anyway, fast forward, I got into sales, and then we've got the success, grow your family, upward trajectory years. I had 20 years in sales, telemarketing, mailers. I sold business to business, door to door. I did massive mailer campaigns. I literally have made 1 million telemarketing phone calls. I don't know if any of you remember the old hand dial phones, push button or little push buttons. Then I graduated to auto dialers, and then I built teams. The bulk of my success was as a home loan officer for 15 or 20 years. I funded 1.5 billion in loans. I was having nothing but success, growing my family, growing my teams. And here's proof that I worked. It's one of my favorite funny little pictures. And back then, I used to listen to, like I said, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy. I would walk to work and I would have those CDs and cassettes playing on autopilot, and it paid off. And so now I bring all those skills into the new age world of digital marketing. So then I had the death, divorce, career upheaval, failed relationship years. And, I was having all this success. And about I don't know, a bit ago, you know, divorce. Both my parents died in rapid succession, like 2 weeks apart. Mom had cancer, so we knew dad had a heart attack out of nowhere. It freaked everybody out because they thought he was going to live forever, healthy as an ox, hiking in the mountains. More failed relationships, but it just it crushed me, and I was divorced, and all of a sudden work had no more meaning for me, and I was trying to figure out what to do next, and I was praying to source, to God, call it what you will, give me a new career, because I was burned out in mortgages, and basically what the universe or God, call it what you will, told me, or what came to me was, you know what, you've got to retire and get your kids through school, get them to college. It was so hard for me, because I had so much invested in being a successful business guy, being a successful loan officer, all these things. And I stayed in it about 2 years too long, but I'll never forget. I went to my boss finally and I was like, hey, I wish I could remember his name. I said, hey, I quit. And he said to me, we'll match any offer you have out there. And I said, no, you don't understand. I quit. I'm retiring to get my boys through school. And he straight up looked at me and said, I wish I could quit too. Anyway, there I am with my son Waylon, a sensitive young son. I have two boys, Cooper and Waylon. They're 20 and 22 now. But there is Waylon and I sitting and reflecting, on divorce and life. And I was divorced at this point, and someone just happened to capture that picture. But there we were reflecting, rebirth into online marketing, and bye-bye to the imposter syndrome. So when I was getting my kids through school, I was teaching yoga. And the great thing about teaching yoga is you can be a substitute yoga teacher. So I never had to have a committed schedule, and I could always teach yoga. And hope everybody's resonating here. I can go quicker, or and cut some of the story out, but give me a chat. Yes, I resonate. I've had hard times too. Or keep going. Tell me more.
Misha, I think Vera had a question. Do you
Ah,
want her to ask the
could,
question now or then on the Q&A?
yeah. Let's go in the Q&A. Save it because maybe I'll get to it.
Okay,
And
okay.
yeah. I'm
Thank you.
looking for the chats, but I don't see it. So,
Mm.
but anyway, I always knew uh, that I would get back into entrepreneurship. And as a matter of fact, Waylon is my younger son. Again, he was 20, but when he was in high school and my job was to hold space for those boys, Waylon would literally open the door to his bedroom, look out into the living room and see me there and know he was safe, and he'd close the door. And so finally the day came, and I was all inspired to get into online marketing, and I'd come across Russell Brunson, and uh and I could feel that entrepreneurship percolating, that inspiration. So I went to Waylon and I said, hey, Waylon, I want to join this coaching group. It's $25,000 a year. And he looked at me and said, what? I said, but hey, it's gonna take a lot of my time. It's gonna take a lot of my money, or not money. It's gonna like take a lot of my time, a lot of time that I used to have for you. I'm gonna put towards, trying to grow a business. And he said, Dad, I'm almost done with high school. I got my girlfriend. I got my job. Like, go for it, right? I barely need you anymore. So I dove into the online marketing, and I'll try and cut to the chase here. But you know, I ended up getting customer testimonials for online entrepreneurs. So I was literally getting paid to interview people's customers to get their customer stories, because in what we do, our customer stories are so important. How are we helping them have success? And then we can say how we help people through our customers' eyes. And as I'm interviewing hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people and going to networking events and talking to entrepreneur after entrepreneur, it becomes very clear that us entrepreneurs are horrible at telling our customer stories. And oftentimes, not even our customer stories, but our own stories. And so I'm interviewing people and getting paid and having a ton of fun and repurposing all this content, but I still had this wicked imposter syndrome. I just was like, am I adding value? And I couldn't see it. And then two things happened. Stacy, who's one of my customers who would fly me out to these big parties she would throw to interview all her customers and get testimonials and make content for. I wake up to an email one morning from her and it says, Misha, you're the one person that I pay that drives revenue for me and my business. I have to have you at this next event in Aspen, Colorado. I'm flying you out there. Buy your tickets. I'm going to pay all your invoices. And I was like, oh my gosh, I add value. I was like, at that point, I knew I was helping and adding value. At the exact same time, a buddy of mine, Ryan Lipsey, has a marketing show. It's called the Small Business Spotlight, where he speaks to realtors. And he had been harassing me for months, telling me, hey, Misha, tell my realtors how to get their customer testimonials and how to repurpose that content, because realtors need content right now and they're starving for it. And finally I said, okay. So I jump on his show, I bring my framework, and I crush it on his show. And I was like, oh my gosh, I add value and I can talk about it. I need to go on a podcast tour. And so fast forward, I did this little post. I was like, I'm going to go on a podcast tour. I'm going to bring all my skills from scripting and systemizing and back in the mortgage days and telemarketing and all this stuff. And I'm going to make all this templates. Who would want it? And I got all this massive flood of, I would. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's like the universe said, you can help heart-centered entrepreneurs bring their message to market. I was like, okay. So what is the true power of podcast guest speaking that it can change your business and your life? Okay, so first off, the audience clicking on your call to action. And this includes building your email list, join my group, buy my book, and then you can market, sell, inspire to them if you are growing your leads list. Me, for example, I have a call to action, badzuck.com. It's an offer where I bring people into my influence army membership and teach people how to go on a guest speaking tour, but have you can guide people like that. So it's so powerful. Number two, the host will sometimes direct. I love when Apple does that. I think we can get lasers too. Come on, lasers. No. The host will sometimes recommend someone to you. So I was on somebody's podcast and they literally recommended me to Lorenzo. Monica Kremendall was her name.
Yes.
And Monica said, hey, Misha, you need to meet Lorenzo. And then I had spoken on her podcast. Sometimes the host themselves will use your services. So as you're going out to guest speak on podcasts, you speak on a podcast, you can give your call to action. The host who's interviewing you will go, oh my gosh, Misha, you can help somebody. Or, oh my gosh, Louisa, you can help somebody. Stuart, you can help somebody that I know. Mohammed, you can help somebody. Sometimes the host will use your services. So I've literally had podcast hosts. I just had two recently where like, oh my gosh, I want to go on a podcast tour. I'm jumping in what you do. Then we've got collaboration opportunities. We get to teach to their group. I'm literally right now, thanks to Monica, for me speaking on a podcast, getting introduced to Payman. Now Payman is like, hey, teach what you know to my group. You can do master class. People are having master classes. There's networking opportunities. And the great thing is we get to make the choice. Do we want to work with them? Number 5, we get to repurpose content to Reels, posts, Shorts, TikTok, etc. So you will be seen as an authority by your audience, and people will click through and opt into your stuff. Get your Facebook banner optimized, get your TikTok banner optimized, whatever. And then when people see your content and Reels and they click on your profile page, whether you're on Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever it is, you can, if your page is optimized, they'll click and click through. Branding, So branding is just so powerful. We're building search engine optimized content as we guest speak on podcasts. SEO content is also what it's called, but you will be seen as an authority as you build your lasting body of content. And social media does not qualify as a lasting body of content. Social media is fleeting. As you speak on more and more podcasts and more stuff, your name gets out and people start searching, you start automatically popping up. The bonus seventh, you will be a different person when it's all said and done.
Oh,
You will
yes.
have a transformation. Okay, my podcast guest speaking framework, my 3-step system to become the go-to authority and expert in your niche without having to waste money on social media marketing or spending countless hours posting on social media again, just in case you get tired of doing that. Who gets tired of posting on social media? Who gets tired? Yes. Yes, I see.
Two hands.
Absolutely. See, Mohammed. What's that?
Two
Both
hands.
hands. Yes. Some people love it. I get tired of it. I forget. It doesn't matter. God bless social media. And also, who doesn't want to become the go-to authority expert in your niche, right? Like that's what we're all doing here. How can we carry our message? How can we bring it to market? All right. Number one, how do you find unlimited podcasts with the perfect audiences? This is what we're going to go over. I've got some great frameworks we're going to go over here really quickly, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Number two, how do you easily get on their shows so you can speak to unlimited captive audiences without having to befriend the podcast host, follow the podcast host, look like and follow the podcast host, stalk the podcast host. We're not going to have to do any of that. So we want to know what's their email and what's the pitch, the guest speaking request. What are we going to send them? And then what do I say and when do I say it? So the audience will take action, right? Without selling. It just becomes natural. We get to tell our stories and people are going to want to work with us. It's beautiful. All right, so let's dive into it. How do you find unlimited podcasts with the perfect audiences? And I've got my Find Your Perfect Podcast framework, my 5-step framework to easily find more podcasts to speak on than you know what to do with. I'm going to skip the whole 5-step framework, but I'm going to cut to the chase on a bunch of it. One, start with Google. Okay. You simply could go guest speaking on podcasts. Google podcasts about your niche. So Zoraida, from Tears to Trails, I'm not sure what your niche is. Some people throw their niches in the chat and then so I know what we're dealing with here. Anybody? Chat? Give me a chat. There we go. Parenting and children. You could go parenting and children podcasts. You can literally
Mhm.
Google parenting and children podcasts. Okay. And then you'll start getting endless lists of those podcasts. And this is the key thing I want you to think about, though, is that we're just looking for podcasts that have a slice of our audience. The podcast just needs to have a slice, like the Venn diagram comes together, right? So parenting and it was parenting and children podcasts. So there's so many different styles of podcasts where a slice where it's going to have parenting and children on there. And my brain is gapping because I'm on the spot right now. But let me think just for a second. You could go on divorce podcasts. You could go on there's entrepreneur podcasts for moms. There's entrepreneur podcasts for this. I mean, it's endless. A lot of coaches are parents. So you could go speak on coaching podcasts. A lot of entrepreneurs are parents. Just think about a podcast that has a slice of your audience, if that makes sense. It's not just parenting podcasts. Um, the next thing you do is you go into Apple and you put parenting and children. You put parenting and then you put children, and it's going to give you a whole bunch to choose from. And then on every podcast that you pick on, if you scroll down a little bit, it's going to recommend podcasts to you. So those are two super simple ways to start finding podcasts. You can do the same thing in Spotify. Now, here's the magic. Here is the hack of all hacks. When you find a podcast that you want to speak on, look at the podcast speaker list. Most of those speakers have their own show, have their own platform, have their own blog, have their own YouTube show. You can now reach out to that guest speaker themselves. Does that make sense? Are you seeing how powerful that is?
Yes, sir.
You start to, you start to find a couple podcasts that you like that you want to speak on, and you just hack the speaker list. And I'm telling you, you will find more speakers than you know what to do with. Then if you go stalk them a little bit on Facebook, you'll see what summits they speak on, all the things where they put themselves out there, all the stages they speak on. And all those stages have lists of people. So now you can hack those lists. There's an endless supply of your target market waiting for you, all free. Okay. What's their email? That's the next key question. I'm going to show you. So there's a thing called, and this is techno babble, so bear with me. There's a thing called the RSS feed. Okay. Every podcast has an RSS feed. And in the RSS feed is the email address. 90% of the podcasts, RSS feeds have the podcast host email. Okay. And so I just opened this spreadsheet right here. Is everybody seeing it? I'm wiggling it. Give me a thumbs up, somebody. Yep. Cool. Thank you.
Love that.
Go to podcastaddict.com or go to chartable.com. These are my two favorite. Type in the podcast, click the button that says RSS feed, and then just look through the RSS feed, and then there's the email. I swear to you, it's so simple. Okay, you see how simple this is? Takes a little bit of work, but it's super simple.
So, Misha, you said podcastaddict.com, and what's the second one? Chartable.com.
Chartable. Yep. Here's what Chartable
I'm
looks
writing-
like.
I'm writing this right here. Chartable.com.
So you
Guys,
could put
write this
the
down.
Table Rush Talk Show. Let's go. Table Rush Talk Show. That's my podcast. You see that? Everybody's seeing where Table
Mhm.
Rush Talk Show just popped up. You click on that, scroll down, and then there it says RSS feed on the right. You see where my little mouse is?
Mhm.
Click on the mouse, give it a second. Sometimes it takes a second to be less jumbled. I know it looks like, well, here you go. There's my email address right there. Contact at Beloved Media. Sometimes it's not
Ah.
quite as jumbled as this. Oops, there we go. There you go. Now it's easier to look at. And then you just scroll down. And once you get used to it, it's super easy to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where'd it go? It was in there. Now I lost it. I had it, but you saw it. Contact at beloved.media. Boom, boom, boom. iTunes.
That's it.
Well, now I can't find it. Coincidentally. Anybody seen it?
Yes, just to
To
like
the
it.
bottom
Yeah,
of the page.
To like
you're
it.
right there.
Nothing.
Oh, am I right there?
You're
Good.
right there. You're right there.
Okay. Well, good. As long as everybody's seeing it and they understand and they get it. So super, super powerful. Listen Notes is another tool. You can actually search for podcasts, and it allows you to pay to get email addresses. So you can literally bulk search for podcasts. Here, I'm going to go Table Rush Talk Show again, and it'll pop up. And then what's really cool about Listen Notes is it ranks the podcast. So you can see my podcast has a 36 listen score with a top 2.5% rating.
Wow.
And so you can kind of judge if you want to speak on a podcast. Me personally, I'll pretty much speak on any podcast at any time. And I would encourage everybody to do the same, because think about it. Even if that podcast only has 10 active listeners, If I said to you, you can go talk about what you do and give them a call to action to 10 people on a stage, would you want to do it?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, but this is a good way to gauge. And then you see there's podcasts, there's the RSS feed there, your web. You can also click the email. It does cost, but so if you're willing to pay, one of my other favorite places to go, and I'm going to give everybody a link for this at the end, is PitchDB. I use this as a tool. I pay for this. I use it. And podcasts, watch this. This is going to be really stinking cool. So let's search. Here we go. Uh, I'm going to click on this one right here. It'll work. Sorry. Can't. Let's click through. Don't know why it's not working. Why are you being a fickle son of a gun? Well, I'll just show you. Table Rush Talk Show. Come on. Oh, there we go. It is working. It's just moving slow. I'm sorry. Well, basically, it allows you to sorry, my timer is going off. It allows you to send an email directly the to the podcast. And so if it was loading, you would see that it's got your email templates. It uses AI to create a pitch for you if you want to. I literally send out 10 podcast invites a day. It's super easy. The partner that I partner with on this is gonna give all of you, if you click through on the link that I give you, 20% off. So if that's cool, Payman,
Absolutely, brother.
to
It's all
share
about
that link
learning
at the
value.
end. Yeah. So anyway, you get it. Outreach. Here's all it's all easy. I'll save it for another day. Just know that if you want to use this as a tool to pitch, you can also pitch media outlets, local associations. What I'll do at the end is I'll give you the link. You'll get 20% off on the monthly cost. And then if you sign up for it, you DM me and I'll help you set it up and we'll get it working. That's my commitment to you. And I would encourage everybody to do it. You don't have to pay for it. I showed you how to do it for free if you don't want to pay. The next question is, what email do I send them? PitchDB makes the email for you, or I send this pitch out literally all the time. You see I've highlighted in blue. I literally will say, Bob, I found your, if say it was coming to me, I'd say, Misha, I found your Table Rush talk show and you have a great show. Are you looking for an interesting guest to be on the show? If so, what are the next steps? Thanks, Misha. I literally have sent out hundreds of those, that simple email script, and you will get a response. And 4 responses are a no response, and then you just send the same thing again. A yes, and then you're like, fantastic, let's book the time. Or it's yes and, like, yes and I need to know more information. Yes and fill out this form. Yes and what do you want to talk about? Or the answer is no. And if the answer is no, what I do is send this right here. Where is the answer is no? Here we go. The answer is no. I say, hey, thanks for saying no so quick. And I just restate what they said to me. Hey, noted. Hey, thanks for the quick response. Noted you're not taking guests because you're all filled up, or noted you're not taking guests because you don't know me. Whatever it is, I literally repeat the exact same thing back to them. And then I say, how would you like to guest speak on my show? We could do a 10-minute introductory call. And guess what? Half the people that tell me no, they don't want me on their podcast, they'll gladly speak on mine. And now you're developing the relationship. Does that make sense? See how powerful that is? Awesome. And so, people love the searching. Like, it's so easy to find podcasts. Alan literally, Alan was blown away. He's like, this is too easy, right? Dawn Gadden and Whitney. Dawn, like, she literally went through what I teach, and 1 month she was on 6 podcasts. Whitney is now a sought after guest speaker, right? She's just done the reps. She does the stuff. She's a sought after guest speaker. All right. What to say and when to say it? That's the next question. What do I say and when do I say it? And so I've got my story bank, get your stories together worksheet. It's my 3-part story collecting worksheet so you can tell the right stories at the right time to capture your audience's attention and inspire them to action. I want to be perfectly honest with you. This is where I was not too long ago in my journey. I knew I had something that I wanted to say. I knew I had a message to get out there. People told me all the time, you should be getting your message out there. You've got so much to say. You're inspirational. You can help people. You're so powerful. How many of you have heard that or hear that constantly? Yes, I do. It's amazing, right? But I did have a bit of that imposter syndrome, and people would ask me to speak on their podcasts, and I wouldn't reply. I'm like, I want to speak on podcasts, yeah, but I secretly don't because I don't know what to say and when to say it and what really would I talk about. So all we got to do is start collecting our stories. And let me click on this. Hopefully it opens. Awesome. So I'll save you the whole thing. But what we're doing is, see if I can find it quick. Where are we? Well, I'll just tell you. This is the worksheet. So you start with your story arcs. What are your 4 story arcs or 5 story arcs or 3 story arcs? You already heard me tell you mine, right? They're the recovery years. That's my first story arc. You see that on the left? My success, grow your family years. That it was the death, divorce, career upheaval, failed uh, relationship years, and then rebirth into online marketing. Those are my 4 story arcs. And then I start writing down stories within those. And the stories are, what are my personal stories? I told you some of them were vulnerable. Then I write down, what are my impactful people stories? Who inspires me? Who's inspired me along the way? Judge Rank inspired me. Russell Brunson inspired me. Payman's inspired me. I have more stories. Tonight, I probably tell enough inspiring people stories. But it could be a homeless guy walking down the street when we're walking down the street, right? That inspiring, that impactful person that changes the course of our life.
Mhm.
And then we write down our customer stories. And so perhaps you don't have any customer stories yet. Well, then it's simply, who have you helped along the way? Parents, friends, coworkers, associates. Who tells you that you're amazing? Who tells you that you're so powerful in what you do? Simply ask them to say, do you mind if I tell that story?
Please
Does that make sense?
go ahead.
Uh, so that's what you do. Collect those stories. Does that make sense to everybody? Hopefully, thumbs up, super easy. And you will intuitively start telling the right stories at the right time. When I used to cry in front of class at school. Literally, I was so introverted in front of people, if you can believe that. And as a matter of fact, it was to the point of where I had this teacher call me out one time, and she said, Misha, I'd call Misha up to ask for this question, but he probably will start crying. So she calls me up anyway. And guess what? I start crying. That's probably why I'm like, I'm going to prove to her that I can speak in front of people. But anyway, I was uh, super introverted. But anyway, literally a few months ago, I wrote that story down. It came back to me, and I wrote it as one of my little stories. So I'm being interviewed on a podcast. It was an e-commerce podcast. And the host says to me, well, what about us introverts? And I was like, it's funny you should mention that. I have a story for you. And then I actually wrote a framework around it about how to get unintroverted or how to put yourself out there in spite of your introvertedness, if that makes sense. Rick Hayhurst, one of my students, loves, loves, loves the story bank. He goes, not only did it change what I say when I'm on stage, but when I'm out there networking, I'm so much more powerful now because I've got so many more stories that come to me, you know, the impactful people stories, my customer stories. It's so powerful to be able to tell your customer stories. Um, anyway, some of my favorite stories are Stacy. So Stacy jumped into my influence army and she literally closed so quick 2 $6,000 contracts without even really trying. I mean, which is crazy, right? She started putting herself out there and joined the community, and bam, Carissa got a $30,000 package. Carissa was following some of my frameworks. One, I've got to call out your audience headline framework. Payman's got a great framework. He was speaking to Ted, I think his name was, or Jay. I can't remember his name
Jay,
off the
yeah.
top of my head. Right? Yeah, Jay. Yeah, he had a great framework for it. But call out your audience framework, get your stories in line. Carissa was on a virtual stage and someone heard her and literally she got a $30,000 package. And I'll never forget the day she called me. She's like, oh my gosh, I was implementing, your headline, my customer stories, all this stuff. And she says, I got a $30,000 package. This was crazy. But anyway, I'm obviously not guaranteeing any of this will work for you. They did the work.
That's the key.
Yep, that's the key. But so I've given you a ton of tools. So yeah, there you go. And then we'll have a question and answer here really quick. I'm gonna put you can go to getbookedfast.com. If you go to getbookedfast.com, you can join PitchDB. You'll get 20% off when you go to the checkout. So it's 97 a month normally, whatever less 20% is. I'm telling you, I use this tool every day. It makes it so easy. As soon as you join, DM me, Misha, help me get it going. I will do a call with you and I will help you get it going. I gave you plenty of resources to do it for free as well. And then a bunch of what I talked about is in guestingguide.com. You can go to www.guestingguide.com, download that. It's my guide for executing a profitable and what is it? A profitable and successful podcast tour. So you can get that for free. It's a PDF. What else? That's it. That's it. I'm pretty much done. Let's do some question and answers. Yes.
Wow. How do you guys love that? Put one if you love it, put two if you were blown away.
Here we go. I'm back with you. Wow. Awesome. Everybody happy? Yes. Good value, good takeaways. Like, give me a thumbs up. Give me a chat. That was fire. Something. Let me know. Validate me. Thank you. No, everybody's super happy. Awesome. I'm down for asking some questions. So I suppose either raise your hand, do the official raise your hand thing, and then we'll pick, how you can do yeah, there we go. Linda Joy Ben, what's happening? What's your question?
Thanks, Misha. That was awesome. I've got a question about the vulnerability part. When speaking on podcasts, is it professional, appropriate if you actually show your emotions and start crying? What's your view on that? And I guess it is a personal opinion. Well, how does that come across to others?
You know what? Like, I consider myself a heart-centered entrepreneur to the core, like I said. And when I feel like I'm moving from the heart and it's open and that emotion comes out, man, I lean into it and I try and let it come out. And so I will cry. Myself personally, I will cry on a podcast. And I think that's the type of person that I want to work with as well. I don't want the person necessarily that's just
stoic.
Yeah, thank you.
Polished,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, that's my thought on it. Others could have absolutely a different opinion, but I'm actually always jealous. I'll go to a speaker event and someone's crying on stage, and I'm like, man, I want a story like that. Does that make sense,
Okay. Yeah,
Linda?
because I did a podcast this week and I actually started crying and I was processing it, and I reached out to the person and I went, you know what, I may delete that one. And because I was wondering, how does it come across? And like, do people judge or actually go, oh, she still hasn't dealt with that issue or whatever. So yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah, I see someone's got their hand up, and I'll call on you in a second, Miss Hooper. Tara, is it Tara? I'm sorry, my screen's hiding your name. So, oopsie daisy, I'm clicking the wrong buttons. What was I going to say? You said something about being judged. Or go ahead, Tara. Or Elvira. Sorry, Elvira. Go ahead and answer the question.
Vera.
Thank you,
Elvira.
Misha. Yeah, it's Elvira. Thank you so much. I'd like to address that question that was so vulnerably shared, Linda, you crying. I believe there's tears and there's tears. And there's tears that come out if somebody is still processing their stuff, and they might even be in a bit of, I want to say victimhood. I can say that because I was in victimhood most of my life, right? Where it's like, they done me wrong and, poor me and all that, right? There's that kind of, cringy kind of tears. But then there's tears of, oh my God, I can't fucking believe I got through that. And this is who I am today. And then you look back with like joy and gratitude almost, right? So I think there's tears and tears, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll speak more to that, Elvira.
Yeah.
Um,
Elvira, thank you.
Elvira, sorry.
That's
Gosh.
okay.
I'm trying to remember who it was, but they say the scar or the wound, right?
Thank
Are you
you.
still in the wound state, or is it
Yes,
scarred
yes.
over? And so you can talk about it from that healing state or the healed state.
Beautiful.
Yeah, Wendy,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have something to comment?
If I can jump in on that one as well, it's very important from my perspective, because I work with speakers who are sharing vulnerable stories, that the way you describe it, if you can take yourself out of reliving that experience, you can still engage with the emotion, but you don't re-traumatize yourself every time you say it. And that's something that I'm very keen for. From my perspective, I feel I have a duty of care to the people I'm working with. So we language it in a way that they still can pitch into that emotion, still feel that, and still convey it without re-traumatizing themselves.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for that, Wendy. And I'll add again, Linda and Payman spoke to this yesterday, I believe. We're oftentimes our perfect customer is 2 steps behind us.
Yep.
And so your perfect customer could literally go, oh my gosh, Linda's in acceptance of her circumstances and able to start processing them. That's who I want to work with. Right. Again, and I'll tell you this, when I started my podcast 685 episodes ago, or whatever it was, I made a commitment to posting everything I recorded because I did not want to overjudge it. I was like, I'm going to start judging and questioning and editing and working it to death. And I was like, I record, it gets posted. And out of 685 episodes or whatever it was, there is 1 episode that I didn't post or publish. And that includes me being interviewed or whatever it was. I can't remember why or what it was right now. But that, again, is to me, right? I don't want to say what anybody else should do. But, Gary Vaynerchuk speaks to this. It's like, get your content out there. And then really the world gets to judge whether it's good or bad. Or I'll stop anyway.
Thank
Priscilla. Yeah. Oh, sorry. We
It's the
have
same.
Vera's first,
No,
I think.
I wanted to
Oh, go ahead.
comment on this.
Oh, okay.
I think Vera has a question I wanted to comment on, and on these emotions that sometimes come as human beings. It's normal, but sometimes when you feel like it's too harsh, you can just pause and breathe and then you will continue to tell the story.
Bam.
Beautiful.
Mic drop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what she does.
Okay. Vera, next question.
Yes. Well, a couple of things. First of all, I think to the extent that we're willing to be vulnerable, share, and open up, is to that extent, one, that whoever we're working with are going to be open and vulnerable and willing to share because they see your vulnerability. Two, I have cried. I'm a crier, period. I just am very emotional. I have cried when I've had guests on my show whose stories were so phenomenal and so heart-wrenching that I couldn't help but cry. But my question to you is, when you consider 64% of adults who have unresolved issues, it's because of childhood trauma and or abuse. You indicated that you started drinking at a very early age. Was there some reason that made you feel that you had to medicate yourself that way at such a young age?
Yeah, that's such a great question. You know, I had some divorced parents. Mom would disappear for years at a time. God bless her. And, you know, I was holding my mom's hand when she passed away. And so any wounds that we had, you know, had long since healed and we'd forgiven each other and all that stuff. But mom would literally disappear for years at a time. I was an emotional kid, emotions on my sleeve. Like my father, I was too much for my father out of the gate. So I had a normal brother as well. Let's say normal. And so I think he got a normal brother. And then you got someone like me who's, you know, he's like, what do I do with this guy as a single dad? But also, like, I was having existential crises out of the womb. Right? It was like at 6 years old, what's the meaning of life? Wait a minute, there was
Yes.
nothing, and now there's something, and you know, infinity and all this stuff. And I had no outlet for that. So I was not resonating with the church. And my parents were basically pagans, if you want to call them that, or heathens, whatever you want to say, middle class heathens. Said with love. Both my parents. This is all said with love. Lord knows I've had my issues as a parent as well.
And I do want to speak on that as well. I want
Sure.
to commend you, first of all, for being a single father. My brother was a single dad that raised 4 children, but I commend you for how you engage your children in your decisions. And that is so important, to make children feel valued. Even if you don't do what they've recommended or suggested, knowing that you listened to what they had to say is so important. And so many parents are not doing that. And I think that's one of the reasons we're having as many issues as we have with children and with adults. And bullying is another area of my platform as well. So I just commend you for how you raised your sons.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I've heard and taken.
Just want to add
Did
one
you
thing.
have another question? Oh, go
Sorry,
ahead.
just
Sorry.
want to add something about the crying and all that. I'd say this is one thing I always talk about. Never speak from a script. Don't speak from here. Speak from here. And when you speak from here, that's where the magic happens. So if you're sharing your story at the deepest level makes you cry, then by all means, embrace it. It's natural. And the person that you're talking to, they will understand that and they will love it. The audience will love it. So by all means, so I've been talking all the time. Embrace your gift. Whatever you're going through, sure, it hurts a lot when we go to them, whatever it may be. We have so many incredible stories here, people that have overcome trauma, tragedy, cancer, whatever you want to call it. They've overcome that. But guess what? That's your story. And that's your gift. Embrace it. That's where we're talking yesterday with Zoraida. I don't know if she's still here. Zoraida, she was saying, Jay said something very powerful, that she was saying, oh, I'm a finance professional. That's nice. But honestly, guys, that's boring. But if when she said, I've been taking chemo for 13 years. I've been clear for like, what is it, 20 something months. Now that is something that everybody's attention. That is something that really connected with people. That is where you can really get across to someone to open up to you. So yes, share your story as authentically as possible. as vulnerable as possible. And if that means you cry, it's okay. Do it, because that's going to emphasize even more. That's going to make your message even more authentic, even more powerful. So yes, don't suppress yourself. Don't hold back. Don't go with a handbrake. No, just go all in, because that's where people will really resonate with you, identify with you. And that's where, honestly, that's where the magic happens. Just want to say that before I forget it. Back to you, Misha. You're killing it.
Yes, thank
Can I
you.
say something to that? Because, you know, I was on your show and I remember shedding a tear.
Yes.
And I didn't cry, but I shed a tear. But then I've worked through my childhood trauma. I've worked through a lot of limiting beliefs. I've done a lot of personal development work on myself. And we're all in a different level of consciousness every day. So who I was 5 years ago, I probably would have cried like boo-hoo at a podcast. But now, you know, 5 years later, I'm somewhat able to control my emotions. But as you know, when you're on a podcast, it's almost like you're channeling. You're just talking. You know, you're speaking from the heart. So, you know, I think we all need to give ourselves a little hug, because we're all in a different level of consciousness every day, right? And thank you for that.
Pleasure's all
Thank you
mine.
for letting me
Again,
speak.
Shay, you wrote something absolutely beautiful. To cry is to be human. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's one of the
Mm.
highest.
Can I just also add, sorry, because I
Go ahead.
haven't
Go
worked
ahead.
out how to put my hand up. But yeah, just touching on what you said, you know, for me, feeling the emotions through the body is a gateway to the soul.
Absolutely.
So as we look at the things we've experienced as children, you know, I was sexually abused as a baby, 18 months old, in a foreign house. My mum couldn't look after me for that time. Then I just had my siblings giving me a hard time. School, I was attacked by all my friends, up to 30, 40 people bullying me, throwing rocks at me, punching me, all these kind of things. So then I went into the drug and alcohol world at a very young age. But as we look at those and all those emotions, they're also gifts like we're sharing. And as we understand and feel what they are and where they are in the body and work through them, we get in touch with the being that we are and know why we came to this planet to experience these things. So it's a beautiful gift. So yeah, I just always see on this planet that these emotions are so powerful and such, because you know we are energy as a soul. Energy and emotion is energy in motion, emotion. So it can just support us so much when we see it from that perspective that it's actually here to assist us, whether it's our own evolution or someone else's. I did feel to say some more, but it's okay. It's gone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like what Elvira said too. As long as we're as best as we can staying in the like the healing state, but that's subjective, I think. But I do 100% believe that me crying gives permission for other people to cry. And there's no doubt in the world right now that more people need to let out some suppressed emotions and learn how to cry a little bit. So I think about that too. Like I'm like, how can I serve? How can I serve the world? And if I need to cry, sometimes I need to cry. And it's just, I know as a male, you know, so much of my journey was like suppress emotions. And then in my 30s, finally, I was letting out as many as I was taking in. And then, you know, I hit my 40s and the universe was like, all right, you got to deal with this lifetime of bottled up emotions. And I went through this time where I was crying every day, but I was doing all the stuff to support that, right? Mentors and, you know, did my pilgrimage to India and, you know, went deep in Buddhism and all that kind of stuff and Hinduism and all this stuff and prayer and meditation and just opened up and cried and cried and cried. And it was so powerful. And then actually, when I stopped crying so much, it kind of freaked me out. I was like, wait a minute. And it's like my heart closing up, you know? It's like, no, you've just, you know, you found that balance and it's a new me working with the world, you know? But anyway, thanks for listening to that. Drusella, did you have a question?
Great conversation. I'm sorry if I missed it when you started the conversation. who is your ideal client in your podcast? And also, how do you decide the best time to broadcast it for your audience?
Yeah, those are such great questions. And I work on trying not to overthink things these days. Don't overthink, because I'm a thinker, and I'll overthink something faster than you can drop a hat. And so I just found a time. I publish my episodes right now every Wednesday at, I believe it's 6 a.m. California time, which is like 3 a.m. New York time, and I don't worry about it. Like, that's when I do it. It's easy. Do it. And then the avatar, in regards to the avatar, the more I'm willing to commit to a niche, and there's different schools of thought on this. There's actually some people that are taking the counter thought now, like, have the world be your audience. That doesn't really serve me so well, but pick your avatar, narrow it down, and the fringes will follow. And I just keep telling myself, narrow avatar, the fringes will follow. An example of that is if you're dealing with 40-year-old professional single moms, let's say, okay, and you help them manage their weight, maybe manage their health, maybe manage their finances, I don't know, their emotions, whatever you do for that 40-plus-year-old single divorced mom, right? Well, what's a fringe of that? Perhaps a 30-year-old mom, perhaps somebody who had kids later in life. Perhaps men hear that message, single men who are committed or in the situation where they're raising the kids. And they're like, well, I need to hear that. And so all of a sudden, the fringes start to show. Or maybe you have a married couple that's like, well, wait a minute, she's talking to single moms, but what she's saying makes sense. Right? Does that make sense? And so I think about that all the time. I'm like, the fringes will follow. Don't be scared. And I tell myself this, and I would encourage you to do the same. Don't be scared to narrow down your avatar. And so my avatar kind of bounces around. I try not to overthink it, but I love heart-centered entrepreneur. Heart-centered entrepreneur. Realistically, it's somebody that's probably was a professional and retired, burned out, got divorced, went through some crisis in life, and it's like, I need to go from purpose instead of the shiny objects. So typically that's going to be, somebody in their 40s, 50s, 60s, something like that. But you see younger people have that existential moment all the time.
Mhm.
And so again, that fringe will follow. I'll tell you something else too, and I learned this from Russell Brunson, and it's coming to me, so I think I should say it, is that depending on the story you tell will attract that demographic, that demographic, right? So Russell Brunson talks about how he would talk on stage, and Russell Brunson was a wrestler, an athlete, super competitive. Not to say that women aren't this, but he just talked that man-centric talk. And so he would speak from stage, and at the end, at the table rush, hence Table Rush Talk Show, mostly men would go back and buy what he had to offer, right? And so one day he's speaking from stage, and him and his wife had been trying to have babies and do the in vitro and all this stuff, and they were really, really, really struggling. And for whatever reason, it came to him top of mind while he was on stage, and he started telling that story from more of that sensitive viewpoint, from his wife's viewpoint, right? So he gets done speaking, and at the end, 50% women and 50% men, like women jumped up and went back to the stage to buy. Does that make sense?
Totally.
Right? So if you find yourself telling sort of sensitive, I'm going to make gross generalizations now, right? But if I'm out there all the time talking about moving from the heart and heart-centered and crying and emotions and all this stuff, generally speaking, if we generalize, who's listening to that or who's going to resonate with that? It's going to be mostly people in the feminine energy space, or however you want to say it. I'm trying to walk delicately now, right? But I tactically started telling stories. So at one point, this is again within it was actually during COVID. I started telling stories about when I was snowboarding and rolled my truck a couple of times, and I have this old Toyota truck and la la la. And sure enough, I started getting more of the person that resonated with that kind of like gung-ho attitude. You know what I mean? And I don't know why I was just inspired to tell you all this, but I think just something to think about in regards to avatars. How do we tell our stories? And did I answer your question? Because I just went on a big tangent, Priscilla.
Yes, you did. And thank you for a brilliant presentation.
Yeah.
Let's give him a round of hand because that was fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're amazing. Standing ovation, brother. Thank you, thank you. Wow, that's what I love about, we're supposed to have only 30 minutes for Misha, but because it was such an it just went so beautiful, I just said, you know what, just let him do his groove, his magic. And I'm so glad I did. It led to beautiful conversation and all that, very, authentic from the heart to heart conversation. I'm so glad I'm recording this. So glad this is being live streamed. But guess what, guys? We're not done. I still have my part of the I will do my best to make sure that's as good as what Misha just shared with us to provide you guys with even more value. You guys ready and excited? All right. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Put your contact in the show notes. Sorry, not the show note, in the chat. And Misha is already inside the Facebook group. So again, the goal in any of these kind of events, whether online or offline, is the connections and networking. Reach out to each other because that's where magic can happen. Get at the very least, get on his podcast. Get him on your podcast if you don't have a podcast or whatever. If you have one, if you don't, talk to me and I'll help you with this. The point is connect with each other. Connect with don't be shy because this is what we are here for. All right, guys. Now let me get back to my where is it? So we left off here. Okay, let me share my screen. Where's my screen? Do you guys see my screen? All right, cool. So we just thought, wow, what a beautiful conversation, what a beautiful topic. Thank you, brother. I have to say, guy, I'm actually a member of his membership, of his program. And I was blown away just by what really sold me initially was just as free email that he sent me. And I said, wow, just say no more. Send me the link. I signed up. It's not cheap, but it's worth every dollar. And I will be honest, I haven't done much from the information yet because I've been so busy and I confess to that, Misha, but I will make a time to actually implement what you're teaching because what you're teaching is absolutely gold. I needed myself to get on podcast stores. And you're the guy God just brought you into my path to our common wonderful friend, Monica. And yeah, I'm so glad we connected, brother. And we'll definitely, the only issue I have, man, maybe it's my fault. I know it's my fault. The calls you do are like at odd hours, like 4 o'clock in the morning for me. I love you, brother, but I can't, even if I take a nap and I empty 5 cups of big cups, I guess, of coffee, I won't be able to function. No, it's not your fault, it's on me, but I will watch the replays. I have a lot of catch up to do. So thank you. I'm so excited to be part of his community and highly recommend all of you guys to at least check it out because it's going to take you to the next level. And this is, I'm not an affiliate. He's my brother, he's my friend. Just wanted to showcase him and provide him a platform to provide value for you guys. So don't be shy. Connect to Misha. All right, brother. Now,
I'll just quick say thanks, everybody. That was awesome. You all hold amazing space and just really thanks for sharing, the space and your love with me. So I felt it awesome.
all right. So before I go into sharing with you more ways to monetize your podcast, if any of you have no existing audience, share me how much you loved it so far, what Misha said. Put yes, put 1 for hell yes, and 2 blown away in the chat. And if you want to learn how to monetize your existing podcast, if you don't have a podcast, to launch a profitable podcast from get-go, put hell yes. I'm ready. Just put I'm ready. Oh, wow. I can't keep up with the chats, guys. It jumped from 18 to 42. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I will read them after. All right, so we covered so far the importance of first of all how podcasts are incredibly powerful, the benefits for both you and your business, as well as the tremendous importance of finding your zone of genius and having your avatar to be as close as you, ideally to be you, so that you can speak from the art and you can really connect with your exacted audience. Now, let's take all of this and put them together. So now that we've identified our zone of genius, our avatar, now the next question is, where is our ideal audience hanging out the most? Most of us do online business online, but if you're doing business mainly with, say, professionals, which I did when I was in Kuala Lumpur, I love going to events. I met a lot of brick and mortar professionals, accountants, doctors, bankers, insurance salesperson. I went online. So for me, it was, when I was offline, it was in BNI events. BNI is a gold mine, especially if you're dealing with people. If you live in any major city in the world, there has to be a BNI networking event. They usually meet up in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, all suited up, but that's where you meet incredible people to make connections. So if you're doing business with professionals or offering a valuable service to businesses, then don't sleep on that. Yes, we're connecting online, we're doing business online, but still business, as I mentioned, the first class we did, it's a relationship nurturing process. Nothing beats meeting someone, shaking their hand, hearing their voice and talking to them. And at the end, why not giving them a hug and exchanging business cards? I don't use business cards, I have my book, but that's a different story. So don't sleep on in-person networking. That's number one. I wanted to say that. Number two, for all of us online. So for me, so what we need, we already covered the number one pain point that you're addressing and solving to your podcast and business. We already went through your avatar, and we already did yesterday with the incredible talk by Jay about your irresistible Godfather offer. So now that we have all of that, let's identify where is your ideal client hanging out the most. So for me, so far, it's been 100% on Facebook. I use Facebook only for business. I love going to Facebook groups. For example, most of us have met through the Serving Circle, or way before when I was first starting my journey on Akbar Sheik's Make More, Give More iTicket coaching that I was part of back then. And then other groups, but now I'm getting also on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something that I haven't not done, but I understand the power and I will get into that. So for you, let's quickly share with us, where does your ideal, now that you know so far, what's your number one pain point you're addressing and solving through your podcast and business? Who's your avatar? And you have your irresistible offer. Share in the show notes. Sorry, not the show notes. Why I keep on saying show notes? And the chat. Where is your ideal audience hanging out the most online? Is it Facebook? Is it LinkedIn? Is it Instagram? Share it. And maybe one or two or three people just raise your hand to quickly give us your answer. Let me catch up with it. Wow, 66. Holy smoke. Shay, you're funny. I like that. State of confusion. Yes. Okay. Well, hopefully this is giving you more clarity. LinkedIn for Mo, Facebook for Jacob, LinkedIn for Linda, LinkedIn for Zoraida, IG and Facebook for Jaime, LinkedIn for Misha. So it's mostly LinkedIn and Facebook. All right. Misha mentioned earlier the tremendous power and goldmine that Facebook groups are. So look up for your keyword and Facebook group, and then just go there, introduce yourself. At first, don't go all in pitching, no, because you're gonna get kicked out right away. Instead, provide value. I would recommend you spend maybe a day or two just reading comments to get a feel for the vibe in the community. Get and then on day two, start answering to questions, and not just one words, but in really meaningful answers. And that's where the magic happens. People will start liking, commenting, sending you friend requests, and that's how we start a conversation. And then after a week or so, then you can make a post, not to pitch, but to say, hey, my name is Misha, Trisella, Zoraida, Jacob, whatever. If you have a podcast, that's wonderful. You say, I'm the host of such and such podcast. I'm looking for people to, for example, for me, when I first started, that completely allowed me to fill my calendar for the next 3 months was I went to a big Facebook group and I just said, hey, my name is Payman. I started my podcast. I'm looking to interview to showcase heart-centered entrepreneurs who are building impactful business. I had 111 people raise their hand to say me. I was booked solid for 3 months. I was doing 3 to 4 podcast calls a day. And you guys know my podcasts are long, about an hour to an hour and a half. By the time I was done, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't even want to listen to myself and my own thoughts. So guys, Facebook groups are a gold mine. You guys know it. That's how most of us have met. So again, identify the keyword, and Misha did a great job earlier to help us identify that. And then go there, introduce yourself, be help there, be active. And then that's how we build things. Does that make sense, guys? Beautiful. Now that we've done that, let's talk about our foundational 10 to 15 episodes. So what I recommend inside my academy for all my students, before we even launch a podcast or YouTube channel, before we go at the publish button and go, invite our ideal clients on the podcast, I highly recommend you build up a foundation, which I recommend to have at least at the bare bone 10 episodes, ideally 15 to 20, the more the better. Basically, that's going to do 2 things for you. First, is going to give you an on-the-job training. You get to understand the process. How is it to identify those people, inviting them, booking them, sending the links, interviewing, plugging everything, making all your tech is working correctly, and then editing if you do any, and then, posting them online and all that. So you get, as I said, an on-the-job training. That's number 1 thing you do. Number 2, you build a portfolio, because once you do reach out to your ideal prospect that you don't know yet, the first thing they will do, and that's human nature, they want to check you out. Hey, let me check this person's podcast. If they say you have less than 10 episodes, maybe later they will come up with the next year. But if you say they have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, or in the case of Misha, 658, so holy smoke, absolutely, I'm in. Because again, nothing screams nothing screams what is it? What is the word? Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. That's what I'm saying. When you see someone that's doing podcasting as many episodes, it shows 2 things. 1, this person is serious and consistent. And number 2, they know what they're talking about. Regardless of how many listeners or how many downloads you get from your podcast. Up to today, after 3 years and 20 episodes, I don't even look at the stats, because for me, it's not about the stats. If you go on my YouTube channel, I have 1,335 subscribers. I built my business. I get 80 clients with a YouTube channel of only 200 subscribers, because I don't care about the numbers. I care about the connections, the rapport. So again, guys, build that foundation, 10, at the bare minimum, 10 episodes, but I would recommend ideally 20. That should take you about a month, so to speak. So once you have those 20 foundational episodes, then you're good to go. Go and identify. Once you've identified your ideal prospect, you've done all the work we've been talking so far, the pain point you're solving, the avatar, your offer, all that good stuff, then go out and invite those people into your podcast. And then that's where the magic happens. That's when you get, because as I've been sharing all this week, the podcast is basically your foot in the door. It gets you access to those people. It gets you to build that rapport, that connection, that trust without you, and building the way to doing business with them without being salesy, sleazy, or none of that stuff. Just being automatic, organic by building that connection. Next. So we take what we I just talked in this slide. Once you have your foundational 10, 15, 20 episode, and you've identified your ideal client, identified where they hang out. Yes, Wendy.
Excuse me, butting in. Can I clarify that those foundational episodes are you setting the scene? It's you talking about your story. It's not the interviewing other people yet.
Good question.
Thank you.
So what I recommend for those first 10, 20 episode is reach out to your friends, to your current clients, people you know, because there's less pressure, and also that builds up your confidence, especially if you're someone with, self-confidence issues, or like I was painfully shy, as you guys know, or if you're not comfortable in front of a camera, do that with people that you feel comfortable with. So this way you don't feel stressed or shy or whatnot. So yes, great point. And then on those 10, 15, 20 episodes, you interview people you already know, and you can share about yourself. What you mentioned, that what you referred to, Wendy, is what I call episode 0. And that is, make it what, 10 minutes, talk about yourself. What's your name? What's your background? Why are you starting this podcast? What is this for? Who's going to benefit from this? And then you can use this podcast, also put it on your landing page, put it, this episode, sorry, on your landing page, on your Calendly, to tell people, hey, please watch this video before talking to me, so they have a better idea of who you are. So you can do 2 things with that episode 0. But the first 10, 20 episode, your foundational episode, are basically you overcoming the shyness, overcoming in some way that that dreaded imposter syndrome. I still get it after 320 episodes. Misha still gets it after 600. Even guys like Tony Robbins still get it. That's accepted, guys. You're never going to overcome this, but you don't have to let that stop you. It's always going to creep in the back of your mind. Even Michael Jordan, each time he was about to take a shot, he still had that shot. What if I miss? What if I miss? It's okay. Missing is part of the game. Missing, failing, that's your best teachers. So that's what, don't worry about that. Get going, build your 20 episodes, at the very minimum, 10 episodes, and then go all in and invite your ideal client. So once we've done all of that, then the same process. You've identified your ideal client where they hang out, and you can use the same principle for your first 10, 50, 20, 100, 300, 1,000 episodes. I'm still using the same principle now that I'm in my 300 episodes. So again, the principle doesn't change. You identify your ideal client, you identify where they hang out, and you simply invite them. That's it. Does that make sense, guys? All right. Remember this golden rule, this golden principle that applies to everything, not just podcasts, not just business, but even people around you in real life, your family, your kids, your loved ones, your friends. Never put yourself in a position to ask, beg, or chase someone. Instead, invite them. Because when you ask, even if you ask, say, your brother, your sister, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, wife, whatever, your client, sure, they may do it, but you have to remind them or ask him a few times. And it's never a good feeling to be in, a good place to be in. But what if you say, hey, for example, my name is Drusella. I'm the host of the Diversity in the World podcast. I just made that up. I love what you guys are doing, and I would love for you to come share your story with me. You approach people like that, the only question they will have is, oh, just say when. Send me your Calendly. Because you're the one inviting them. When you invite people, you're the one being chased. You turn the table. The power is in your hand. So always remember this principle. That applies to pretty much everything. Even try it with your loved one, your friends, your people around you. Try this. Instead of asking, invite them and see the response, see the difference. Now, so as I mentioned earlier, let's resume. So far, we covered on day 1 how podcasting has completely transformed my life and my business. Actually, it gave me a business. A beautiful, not just one business, but multiple businesses. Podcasting, my academy, my books. Book number 2 is going to launch on the 31st, which is in a few days. So again, it completely transformed my life. The fact that I'm here in Asia, left Canada 18 months ago, is because of this. Otherwise, I would still be stuck in Canada, freezing myself in a place in a job I couldn't stand. So now, and we went over how podcasting can benefit tremendously both you personally, because just like Misha said, and I mentioned that right away, I used to be painfully shy. Podcasting made me a better listener. Podcasting allowed me to connect at a deeper level with people. And most importantly, it allowed me to find my purpose, my voice, my mission, my destiny, my tribe, you guys. These are much, much more valuable than any financial gain. Sure, the financial gain is nice. It's icing on the cake. We all need to make money, but let's do so in a way that's meaningful, impactful, purposeful. And I'm so grateful that I found my way of making money, doing something I completely enjoy. And I've been podcasting pretty much all day long. I don't look at it as work, and that's invaluable. So in day 3, we brainstormed on identifying your zone of genius, your avatar, whatever you went through, no matter how painful, how tragic it may have been in the past. Don't suppress it. Embrace it. That's your gift. That's your story. That's why you're here for. That's what's going to allow you to really connect heart to heart with the people you're trying to not only do business, but do podcasts, but even people around you in real life. We've also brainstormed on your avatar and went over how to launch your podcast in 3 easy steps. That was on day 3. Day 4, we had Jay, phenomenal talk on how to take your zone of genius, your avatar, and deep at a much deeper level and craft your irresistible Godfather offer. And today we had Misha blow our mind away how to grow your podcast, get more visibility, and all that. And I'm sharing with you how to monetize. I just showed you how to monetize your podcast, even if you have no audience to start with, and no spamming, no cold calling, no DMs, no emails, and no ad spend. So all of that, this is how you really launch. If you already have a podcast, make your podcast profitable. If you don't, how to launch a profitable podcast and an amazing lead generation machine, not just any random leads, but your exact ideal audience, your soul tribe, your tribe, people that connect with you, relate with you, identify with you, and really see themselves in you. Remember always this one. Your avatar, the avatar is make it as close to you as possible. And that's half the game. That's half the game. Any questions so far? All good? All right, so the next step, how do we implement all of that? Because it's beautiful, but now implementing all of that, that takes a lot of work, because even though I shared a lot of information with you, that's only the tip of the iceberg. That's a very high level overview of that. Now, all right, let's see, where is this? So now, let's take a look at how having your own podcast, or if you already have a podcast and make it profitable, is going to change both your life and business. Of course, first and foremost, we're all here for that, is that we want to get more visibility. And podcasting, as Misha shared with us earlier, is going to skyrocket your visibility. Is going to give you access to new audiences, new eyeballs, not just any random ones, but the ones that actually connect with you, relate with you. It's going to build and boost your authority, because again, when you keep podcasting consistently, like Misha, for example, you're seen as someone that is an expert, an authority, a leader, because to keep doing over 600 episodes, that shows tremendous expertise, knowledge. Otherwise, no one who's just faking it is going to be able to sustain that long of effort. Let me tell you, podcasting is not easy, especially if you have no idea what you're talking about. This is why it's so important to build your podcast around your story, around your zone of genius, so that you can talk about it without any notes, without any research. So again, when you do that, it's going to really elevate you to being seen as the expert, the authority, the leader in your field. So once you put all of that together, skyrocketing your visibility, building and boosting your authority, that's when you can get leads on demand to your podcast. Getting leads, I know most of us, even me, before starting my podcast, I was always struggling. I had no idea how to get the next lead. I had no lead because I had no business back then. Most of us here are struggling with, how do I get leads? And most of you guys know the cost of Facebook ads is going to the roof with the new Facebook updates. Is completely killing Facebook ads. You're basically throwing money. You might as well just take that money and travel or do something you enjoy. Treat yourself. So having the ability to get leads on demand, that's a game changer for your business. And the good news is, once you have your podcast, you can get leads on demand, your exact ideal leads, for free. For free. You don't need to spend a penny. I haven't spent a penny so far on lead acquisition. I even have more leads than I can handle. All I need to do is go to a group, make a post, and I'm booked for the next 3 months. That's a goal, guys. And podcasting will allow you to find your voice, amplify your impact. As I said, elevate and position you as the authority, the expert, the leader in your field, niche, and industry. These are all phenomenal game changer. That's what completely changed my life, my business. It actually built me multiple businesses. When I started my podcast, I had no idea, no plan to monetize it, but the podcast blessed me with that. Now, most of you here already are coaches or already have offers. So let's take a look at some who's this going to be? Having a profitable podcast is going to really benefit who? if you're a coach, an author, a speaker with a high ticket offer of at least $1,000, and you're looking to skyrocket your visibility and build your authority and be seen, as I said, as the expert, the authority, the leader in your field, industry, niche, and you want to get leads on demand through your podcast and channels, that's what's gonna really benefit you. Raise your hand or put in the chat if you already have an offer. Sorry, if you have an offer of at least $1,000. Okay, Misha, beautiful. Zoraida, raise your hand. Go ahead, my friend.
Sí.
Claro que sí, amiga. Okay, beautiful. Who else? Let me check the chat. Yes, yes, yes. All right, pretty much everybody. Okay, beautiful. Now, again, who's going to benefit from this? As I mentioned earlier, if you're struggling to get warm, quality, and responsive leads for your business, not just any random schmuck, just or tie kickers, with all respect due to those people, because I used to be one of them. I'm being honest. If you're tired of not being seen and getting any visibility in a crowded red ocean, you guys know that business, especially online, is becoming incredibly, incredibly competitive. And if you add to that the lower attention span of the average people nowadays, it's a recipe for disaster. How do you stand out? How do you get even a shot at it? Is by really talking to your exact ideal audience through a podcast, by connecting heart to heart, by being authentic to your podcast. So yeah. So if you're looking to amplify your impact and share your gifts, again, it's all about sharing your gift. That's the ultimate thing. That's the one thing I want you guys to remember. We're all here at the stage to share our gifts, your story, your struggles, everything you overcome, your failures. Those are beautiful gifts. Now share them. And podcasting is the best way, from my experience, from experience of my students, the best way to do so. Now, let's take a look at the math. The math is very simple. Most of you guys already have an offer. So if you do one podcast episode a week with the exact ideal audience, you should be able to get, because I can guarantee you to get leads, but I can't guarantee you that you're going to be closed. That's going to up to you and your closing abilities and how good your offer is. But if you do just one episode a week with the exact ideal audience, just what I've been telling you, you should be able to get one paying client a month to your podcast. So you talk to 4 people, 1 client. Now, if you go all in, like say Misha or me, and you do 1 podcast a day, then you should be able to get 1 new client a week, maybe even 2 or 3, depending how good your offer is and all that good stuff. So does that make sense, guys? Do you guys see how this can really apply to you and your business if you implement that? Put a yes if that really resonates with you in the chat. Beautiful, beautiful. I want to see more yeses. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Beautiful. Now, since we're on the topic of math, let's actually take an actual example. So let's say your average offer is $2,000, which is the average nowadays for most good coaching programs. So 1 client a month to your own podcast for free, I mean, getting the lead for free, is an extra $48,000 a year. 1 paying client a week, that's an extra $104,000. Do the math. $2,000 times 12, that's 48. 2,000 times 52, that's 104. Without you spending a penny on your on leads acquisition or anything. So how will an extra $48,000 to $104,000 a year not only change your business but transform your life? Put a 1 if it's, put a hell yes if it does. Bigger time, absolutely, absolutely. It's going to completely change things. All right. See, this is power, because it's all good and dandy talking about all these good things, but again, we're all here to make money. And money is, but let's do so. Let's all make money in a way that is meaningful, impactful, by sharing our gifts with exact people that can connect the most with us. Because when you do business with those people, when you build that trust, those people are not just clients. For example, I keep telling this, mentioning this on my podcast. The people I talk to on my podcast are not just a guest. The clients I get to my podcast are not just a a line on a spreadsheet. We become friends. We get on calls. Hey, how's your mother? How's your father? How's your family? How's life? We don't talk about business. We just catch up, just like you would with a normal friend. This, to me, is the most powerful benefit of doing business. This is why I call it doing business the universe way, or doing business the God's way. Because it's a very enjoyable way to do business without sounding, just like Jay mentioned yesterday, without sounding sleazy, salesy, or whatever. Now, let's see. How would your business and life, again, same thing that I mentioned earlier, change with an endless, if you have the ability to get leads on demand, very highly qualified, warm, receptive leads for your business on demand, how would that change your business and your life? See, amazing, amazing. Okay, let's see. I'm going back. I want to go up. What is it going? All right. So now we have two options, guys. We've spent a week going over all of this, going over how podcasting is phenomenal, game-changing, life-changing, transformational for you and your business. Now we have two options. You can think, oh, this is cool, but it's not for me. I'm not ready. I don't have the time. And I talked about that. Or you can do something very different, transformational, life-changing, and ask yourself a powerful question. How can I get my exact ideal leads on demand, even if you have no existing audience to start with, without spamming and with zero ad spend? And the answer is by starting your own profitable by launching your own profitable podcast and YouTube channel where you invite your exact ideal listeners, prospects, and clients. This is what's going to change your business, take it to the next level. I have a very special and exclusive invitation for you guys. I want you to invite you into my podcast academy. My next class is going to be running in February, starting on Monday, February 5th. I've been running it for over 2.5 years. I took some time off and now I'm revamping it, adding a lot of more content, bringing new killer experts like Misha, like Jay and other people. Because even though the goal of this program is for you to launch your podcast, we're launching your podcast is only the starting point of your journey. This is why we need experts like Misha, Jay, and even Wendy, because what she does is amazing. She helps you take you to the stage and become a public speaker. I will bring her another time to do a talk for her to share her gift because she's phenomenal. She's phenomenal. So I'm going to be building not just a community, but an ecosystem of like-minded, pre-vetted experts to really help you take your gifts to the world and really help you leverage your podcast, your YouTube channel to really change lives, not just your life, but lives around you by sharing your gift, by you becoming a beacon of light. Misha shared with us how powerful and transformational it can be to go on 50 podcasts. That's beautiful. But imagine having your own platform. It gives you access to incredible people. Misha can attest to that. You know, the fact that you were able to go on those 50 podcasts was because you had your podcast. If you didn't, let me ask you this quickly right now, Misha. If someone has no podcast, no story, no nothing, what is the likelihood of them getting accepted on to go on a 50 podcast?
I can tell you that having a platform helps tremendously. And I reached out to somebody today and they replied back, "We'd love to have you on your show, but it's a $500 marketing fee." And I replied back, "Well, how about an interview swap in lieu of the $500 fee?" And they said yes. So definitely, to answer your question, it helps so much to have a platform, to have that social proof. And what else? It's like verification. People just see the number of podcasts, no matter how many you have, and they're like the episodes, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're committed, you're serious, you're real." So hopefully I answered the question.
Oh, big time. Thank you, brother. You beautifully answered it. You confirmed that. And again, and speaking of that, it's not just the number of episodes, but for me, I've had only 2 people ask me, so how many people listen to your podcast? What's the downloads? And I was very straight honest with them. I said, listen, I don't look at the numbers. I look at the connection. I only have, back then I had only less than 200 subscribers. Now I have 1,300. And I tell them, this is not how I build my podcast. My podcast is not a numbers game. My podcast is about building the connection, the relationship. And I tell them, this is how I've been able to get 80 clients here. Whoa. I want you to talk, come and talk, tell me. So this is how, guys, it's not about the numbers, but about the connections. So who's excited here now and ready to launch, to take this invitation and come launch their profitable podcast with me? Put a hell yes in the show note, and I will tell you more about, share with you briefly what I have for you guys. Yes. Let's see. Let's keep them coming. Come on, guys. It's exciting. All right, let's keep going. So again, first step for me that I offer you as an extra bonus is book a one-on-one brainstorming call with me. It's not a sales call. It's going to be brainstorming to see how we can implement a profitable podcasting game plan for you and your business. I need to understand better your business, your gift, and all that. Smile, everybody, for the picture that Zoraida is taking. Beautiful. So I'll share my Calendly and the group, and also I'll send it to you guys individually. Let's book a call. Let's talk. And for those of you who are ready, I have a very special offer, exclusive offer to invite you in my academy next Monday, actually, the 5th of February. If I may share with you guys right now. Wait, yeah, we just finished the call. I mean the challenge. Let me see, where is here? All right, let me quickly share. I will briefly tell you guys about what I have prepared for you guys. Let me find it. Where is it? So right now in Academy, I've added for 2.5 years. Right now, my students pay me $3,000 each. But for you guys, I have a very special offer. Wait, not this one. Where is it? Not this one. Here it is. For people that attend this this challenge, the 5-day challenge, it's going to be $2,000 only. But if you pay right away, so if you pay in full, it's going to be $1,500, which is a 50% scholarship, and that's only available for the people from this challenge. After this challenge, I'm going to go back to the $3,000, and my coach Jay has been pushing me, has even threatened me that to raise the price. I said, listen, if you don't raise the price to $5,000, I'm kick you out of the program. And I paid him $10,000 because he's seeing the value in what I offer. You guys have seen the value in what I've provided. So again, this is an incredible, no-brainer, irresistible Godfather offer I have for you guys. Only $1,500 to join me on. We're going to start on the 5th of February. I will send you the link, and you can have a listen to all the testimonials I have here. I'll send you the link. And again, this is not a hard pitch. I invite you. I don't like to ask, beg, or chase. I invite you. You've seen the value. You've seen how podcasting can be tremendously life-changing. I'm in a business. I'm a collector. When people ask me, what do you do? I say, I'm a collector. What do you collect? I collect success stories. I kept my classes to 10 students on purpose because I want to work with a select number of people. I can work with them one-on-one, and I can make sure that they succeed. I'm not in the business of selling a bunch of memberships. Okay, sell 50 spots. Okay, here's your videos. Good luck. Each of them is 50 minutes. Sorry, 2 hours. If you have a question, send a ticket. We'll get back to you in the next 365 weeks. No, I want to be able to work one-on-one with those people to ensure that they are successful, that they succeed. I'm able and ready to get on quick calls with you guys. If you have once you're in the academy, my students, anytime you have a question, let's jump on a call. I do that because I want to make sure you succeed. Again, for me, it's not about selling a bunch of membership because I'm a collector and I want to keep my success rate 100%. 100% of my students have taken my program. They've launched the podcast, successful podcast. That's what I want to do. So again, this is my offer. Again, it's not a hard pitch. It's an invitation, and I will never make this offer again. I will send the link inside my academy. Sorry, inside the challenge. You're all welcome to join. I would be honored, delighted, and tremendously grateful to help you further go much deeper into what we covered all this week to really bring your gift to the world so you can make the impact that you're destined to reach in this lifetime. So yeah, this is my straightforward, no BS offer, no fluff, straight to the point. My program is going to be 3 weeks, 30 minutes a day. So even if you're extra busy, because I was busy, I don't have the time to spend watching 12-hour video each day, except this week, but that was a difference. You know, so this is your the chance, your opportunity, your invitation to really take your gifts and bring them to the world to amplify your impact in the process, change life, change your life, and make as much money as possible. Just like Jay was saying yesterday, make more to give more, to impact more. So put a yes. I'm ready if you're ready to take advantage of this. And if you see the value of that, put a yes if you see the value in this. Yes, Irina is an actual Irina, Snow, Jaime, the alumni of my program from previous classes. So yeah, guys, so this is I want to really congratulate you guys because we completed the challenge. You've made it. I'm really honored, grateful that you spent your evenings, your afternoons, your morning, for DJ waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, for Jacob to be here at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and for all of you guys, it's an absolute honor, pleasure having you with me. Thank you for your trust. Thank you for your time. And yeah, listen, it's been an absolute blast. I loved it. I loved every moment. I hope you guys also enjoyed it and you guys get value out of it, not only from me, but also from the incredible experts I brought, such as Jay and Misha. So yeah, this is, I'm kind of sad that it's ending. I was loving this, you know? Yeah, guys, so thank you. I'll post the video replay after this call later today. Book a call with me. You have my Calendly, and I will share it again. And let's get on a call. Again, it's not a sales call, it's a brainstorming call, and to see how we can implement this for your business. And if you're ready to take the next step and join me in my academy on Monday, the 5th of February, it will be my utmost honor to do so and help you. Again, 30 minutes a day, 3 weeks, and you'll have everything. We'll implement all that we learned and all that we went through in a very fast. And there's so many more things that I didn't mention because otherwise this would have been a 30-day challenge, not a 5-day challenge. So yeah, guys.
Is it Monday through Friday?
Yes. So the structure is on Mondays, I do a live call at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then every day, Tuesday to Friday, you get a daily video lesson, which is 10 to 20 minutes plus homework. So you're looking at 30 minutes a day, each day for your homework to implement each day's lesson. And of course, we have a very active Facebook group, Messenger. Everybody's very helpful. You can reach out to me anytime you want, anytime that I'm awake. Keep in mind that I'm on the other side of the world, so the time zone can be different, but I will stay longer if I need to. If you guys need me, sorry, I'd be happy to jump on a call with you guys at anytime after, say, 7 a.m. 7 a.m. my time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern. You know what? Since I love you guys, I would even take calls at 6 a.m., which is 6 p.m. Eastern, just to make sure you guys have more time with me, give you more options. And yeah, let me catch up with yes, let's connect.
Payman, can I ask a question?
Please.
So how much time would one need to devote per week to get as much value necessary
Great
once we're
question.
in the program?
So
Because
as
I have other, like all of us, we all have prior commitments, and
Sure.
for me, it needs to fit in because I see the value. So
Thank you.
I'm not questioning the value. I don't, and I like to give things 100%.
Absolutely.
So I need, that's one of my questions.
All right, great question. As I mentioned, we have one live coaching each week on Monday at for the direction of the class. So the 3 Mondays in a row at 8 p.m. Eastern for about an hour, and then Tuesday to Friday of those weeks, you get a daily video lesson of 10 to 20 minutes, and then the homework, the assignments, the action steps is going to take you about 5 to 10 minutes. So you're looking at about 30 minutes a day for the 3 weeks, except on Monday nights. And at the end of each week, I'd be more than happy and available to get on a Q&A calls for you guys, with you guys for free as a bonus to answer any question you guys have about the content of the previous week before we jump on to the content of the following week. So to answer your question, a short 1 hour on Monday nights from 8 p.m. Eastern, and then the rest of the week, that week, about 30 minutes a day to go through the content and to go through the assignments. And of course, any question, we have a very active Facebook group, and I'm available. People inside the group like Jaime or Snow or Irina and other people. So many people inside the group. They're very helpful. They're very supportive because we're all heart-centered entrepreneurs. Nobody's going to tell you, you suck. That's a bad question. No, never. There's no place for that because we're all heart-centered, awakened souls. And also regarding the offer, I just want to specify that it's $1,500 if you pay in full, or if you want a payment plan, it's going to be 2 payments of $1,000, so $2,000, one extra incentive for you to pay in full. And again, I'm making it very almost like giving it away because the value just need one client and it's going to pay off for your membership. And once you're a member, you're a member for life. You're welcome to join in any of the upcoming classes for a refresher. I always keep on updating my program, add new content, new expert as I make more and more wonderful connection like Misha and all those people. You get access to those at no cost for now. I may charge for those in the future, but for you guys, you can get grandfathered to get access to all those content, all those updates at no cost. And I will keep this offer. My coach told me to keep this offer just for today, but I will give you extra time. I want to talk to you guys one-on-one to better understand your business, to make sure that this is indeed the right fit for both you and me. So I will extend this offer until we talk. So you have my Calendly, book a time. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here. I'd be more than happy to stay all day talking to you guys, or this weekend or early next week. Let's make it happen. Because again, I'm all about helping. If I was about the money, I would keep it at $3,000 or $5,000 and make out like a bandit, but I'm not about the money. I'm about, sure, we all need to make money, but I want to help you guys. And honestly, I make it a truly no-brainer. $1,500 is literally giving away for this, for the value, for what you get. Again, one client, and it pays off for itself. Let me catch up with the... Thank you, brother Jaime. Thank you, Shay. Yes. I'm excited for our call, Shay. I see that quite a few people actually booked calls with me for next week. Let's see. All right, Drusella, thank you, my sister. You're amazing. I love your mission, everything you're doing. You're amazing. You're a beacon of light. Your story is one of the most goosebump inducing stories I've had the pleasure of listening to and showcasing not only on my podcast, but also on my volume 1 of my book. Phenomenal story. Yes. Booked for Sunday. Shay, awesome. Can't wait. Thank you, Elvira, my beautiful sister. You're amazing. Grazie di cuore. Sei grande. Thank you. All right, let me see. Let me stop sharing my screen. All right, guys. Does that make sense for you guys? I just want to hear your honest feedback. What do you think about this week and the invitation for the next steps? Elvira, okay. Jaime, you give me... Yes, Shay. Shay, go ahead.
Hey.
Yes.
I actually had my battery die right when you were doing the offer. So I'm hearing the end of it and putting it together in pieces. So if you would be kind enough to fill me in, I would be very grateful.
All right, let me share my screen
In favor
again.
of this, I just want to know the details.
All right, let me share my screen again. So this is my offer. I have an academy right now on my website. If you guys go on my website, it's called leaderswithavoice.com. You will see it's selling at $3,000. My coach is pushing me, even threatening me to kicking me out of his program if I don't raise the $5,000, given the value, the service, the unparalleled support, and the transformation that that's provided my students. And for me, So only for the students, for the attendees of this 5-day challenge, it's going to be $1,500 if you pay in full, or if you pay in. I also offer a monthly payment of 2 payments of $1,000, so $2,000 total. I'm literally giving this away because with just one client, it will more than pay off for itself. And the structure is 3 weeks, 1 call a week, Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, and the rest of the week, Tuesday to Friday, you get a daily video lesson and action steps, which you will need. It's going to take you to 10, or not, let's say 30 minutes, 30 minutes a day, Tuesday to Friday, and Monday nights, about an hour, because I teach a class live and we get to interact, we get to answer questions, we get to help each other live and answer questions and so on and so forth. So, and I'm more than happy as well at the end of each week to get on a Q&A call to answer any question you guys have about the content of that previous week before we tackle on the next week. We have a very active Facebook group and Messenger. Any question you have, post them there. People are very helpful, supportive. And if you have anything that you need my attention, I'm more than happy to jump on a quick Zoom call with you. Anytime after 6 p.m. Eastern, which is 6 a.m. here. I usually don't wake up, don't take calls before 7 p.m., which is 7 o'clock my time. But for you guys, I'll make an exception. I'll be happy to wake up at 5:30 to be on call with you at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is 6 p.m. Eastern. So this is the gist of it. It's very hands-on, very interactive. I will share the link to both my current website so you can see the full detail of the program. It's leaderswithavoice.com. It's currently, as I said, currently selling at $3,000, soon going to $5,000. And I will send you the link to this special offer I created just for you guys, so you can see the detail. You have a bunch of testimonials from alumni of my program. I have so many more that I have most of them on my website. If I were to put, I'm probably I need to start a new website with just testimonials because I have so many. But this is a gist of it. So yeah, I'll share the link, and let's get on a call first. I really want to understand your business, how to make this make sense for you. But if you're ready if you're a fast action taker, I'll share the link and the chat and also in the Facebook group, and you can sign up right away for the special offer. Let me see, where's my everybody? Okay, let me stop sharing my screen first. It says. Of course, Jaime.
Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your friend, your coach.
Where's
your
this?
host.
Wait, sorry.
This is a quick video I'm doing with all my good friends. Yes.
Wait, what's going on? One of the testimonials.
There's 2 of you.
He was one of the students from the month of May. If I recall
I can't
correctly.
find the
May,
screen.
right?
Where is it?
I think it was May.
It was May.
Yeah, May.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, tell us what is your overall.
Oh, yeah, found it. Mew. Okay, yeah, okay. Sorry about that, guys. Little glitch here.
Technical glitch.
Well, you can feel free to watch all the testimonials on my. Let me share the link here. Wait, why is it going to Elvira? Should go to everybody. Of course, Jaime. You're one of my brightest and best friend. I've got the pleasure
Lorenzo,
of connecting with. You're my brother from another mother.
Is that interview? Is that testimony about when you helped me open my throat chakra?
I have so many testimonials from you, brother. I should create just a page just for me and Jaime, you know. And I have also Irina's beautiful testimonial. Yes, let me put the Calendly here. Where's my Calendly? Calendly. Here. And I will share both the Calendly and the link to the special offer on both my in the Facebook group, and I will send it to you personally on Messenger. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'm honored to have been able to serve you guys, to open your eyes and how transformational podcast can be when done the right way. Because the reason I'm here today, the reason I'm talking to you guys, the reason I'm not the shy, introvert and low self-confidence person like I used to be before. Jaime can testify to that. I was like, hi, my name is Payman. No, now a different person, living my best life. Left Canada 18 months ago and loving every moment of what I'm doing, because for me, it's not work, it's not business. It's what I'm meant to do. Talking to people, inspiring people, and unearthing, helping them identify their gifts, sharing them with others so we can help other people do the same. My motto when I started my podcast was inspiring entrepreneurs to do good with their business. Now it evolved, and it's helping good people with beautiful hearts and powerful missions to win. This is my updated mission statement, if you want to put it that way. So yeah. Jaime, you want to share your quick story of your opening up your throat chakra and how this has completely changed your life?
Well, at the beginning of the class, you mentioned that I was like, hello, my name is Jaime Lanquez Munoz. And that's how I was speaking. And taking your class, something shifted in me that I started feeling more confident with myself. And suddenly I started noticing tonality in my voice too, because I was kind of mellow. And now I can hear the pitch in my voice going up, down. And so it's not so boring as it used to be. And now I'm more cheerful, happy, and more confident, and so eager to share my story and tell the world what I'm all about. So that's what I gained in this class with Payman, that he actually brought me out of the shadows into the light. And now I can share my light with the world. So thank you, Payman.
Pleasure of mine, brother. It's my honor. Tell us briefly what opportunities you have come across as a result of you opening up your throat chakra, daring to speak and sharing your story, your gifts, embracing them, and all that good stuff as a result of you taking.
Yeah, you know, most of it was because I was being called to share my story about lucid dreaming, astral projection. I was being found to be on podcasts to be interviewed all this time, but I was afraid to go on podcasts to get interviewed. So once I took your class, I started getting the confidence. So when I was asked to come in for interviews, I say yes. And now I've been about 20 so interviews on podcasts. And I noticed, like I said before, that film producers and hosts on TV shows, they're watching when I speak on my live IGs, Instagram. And they come in looking for me, and they send me DMs telling me how cool that was. I love it. And actually, they're coming to me. I don't even have to find them anymore. Beautiful. So by taking these classes, yeah, they and becoming visible, the whole world is gonna find you. That's what I noticed.
Tell us
also, you gave me. I'm sorry, Payman. You gave me the opportunity to meet Mary Gooden to write my book and become.
I was about to ask you about that. Yes.
Bestseller international author. Yeah. So my whole life shifted. My whole life changed for the best. That's what I can tell you.
Oh,
and there's more coming because I have a third book coming. So in March,
wow.
Divine Dreamers, 3 books.
And you have a very special contributor in your book. Who's that again?
Yes, my daughter Margaret. She's 11 now, and she's sharing her story as a rainbow spirit.
Yeah. I love that.
So great things started happening when you become in alignment with your purpose. And like this, taking the class with Payman, it aligned me with my purpose. That took me from where I was to where I wanted to be, or where I'm going to be even better. Because it gets better and better every day. So thank you, Payman.
Jaime. You're amazing. I love you. I love you, everything. But you know, guys, for me, the greatest gift, the greatest transformation of that podcast has blessed my life with, forget about the money. Yes, that changed my life, allowed me to get back on my feet, rebuild my credit to the best place ever to live my life. But that's beyond the purpose. For me, it changed my life because now I'm no longer the shy person. That for me is invaluable. I'm the person I'm meant to be now, living my life, inspiring people, building my tribe with you guys, making phenomenal friendships around the world, like you guys. For me, the two most beautiful reward of business is one, the transformation I help achieve in the lives of people I work with, and two, the beautiful friendships and relationships I build in the process. The money is icing on the cake. The main thing for me is all of these, the transformation, the incredible impact that I see in the lives of people, the friendships and all that. That for me is truly invaluable. As they say, let's say you want to have a goal of making $1 million. It's nice once you reach it, but the biggest gift is the person you become in the process. That's something nobody can take away from you. That's the ultimate reward. And that for me is, I could never speak the way I do now. I don't have any notes. Just speak from the heart. Again, because of me embracing myself, finding my voice, just like you, I had to open my throat chakra. I used to be extremely shy. I grew up in an environment where we're supposed to just keep quiet and look good and nothing else. And just let the adults, the big ones, talk. You just stay quiet. That's an environment I grew up in. But now, and that held me back so much in my life. A time came that I said, you know what? Enough of that. Anyways, enough about me. Vera.
Yes, I was shy too growing up for that same reason. You're to be seen, not heard. And plus being abused, verbally, physically, mentally, and emotionally abused, I was afraid to talk because I didn't know how I would be, what kind of reaction or response I would get. One of the things that I wanted to share as a result of a guest that came on my show a while back, she is also into parenting. She's starting a television show and contacted me to be a co-host. So I'm really excited about that. And it's regarding parenting. And so you're right.
So cool.
Yes, I'm excited.
Congratulations.
I love that.
Thank
Yes,
Share us the link, the
congratulations.
details. Want to
you.
see you, when I watch you.
So I'm meeting with her next week to finalize some things, but it's on, I can't remember the station, but anyway, I'm excited about it because we will be talking about parenting issues and things of that nature, the very things that are dear to my heart, parents, but bullying and children. Those are my go-tos.
Awesome. Beautiful. Hey,
I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I actually wrote a chapter in Irina's book on single parenting. And if it wasn't if it wasn't for meeting Irina, and I met Irina at Mind Valley. So I already knew the kind of person she was, right? Because Mind Valley has there's a certain type of person that goes in there. And we met and I did her podcast. And then she asked me to write her book. And I just became a single parent after 24 years of marriage. And someone else asked me to write a chapter in the book, but I wrote half of that chapter and I let it go. And I wrote Irina's chapter in less than a week because my heart was in it. And it just meant so much to me. And I love it. I love it. It was at a really critical point of my life, dealing with the cancer, still taking chemotherapy, being divorced, selling a home, becoming a single parent. And how many years has been Irina's? I think 3 years since we wrote, 2 years since we wrote that book.
2 years.
Wow.
My life has changed so much.
Amazing.
Yeah. So grateful to you.
And Zoraida, I love your story, and Irina too, because we know each other for a while now, I think. And the shirt I'm wearing is from Mind Valley Academy, Make or Love.
I know, you're with Mind Valley too.
Yes, I'm a Mind Valley member, yes. And I went to in LA, in Los Angeles. And I met Vishen Lakiani personally.
Really? So I've spent 2 summers in Estonia for a month each time, doing the whole academy.
I hate you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love that.
Right,
I wanted to go there, but
I want to bring you back on the podcast to talk about this.
I love Mind Valley.
That was fun.
And actually, because of Mind Valley, the first work quest that I did was Marissa Peer's hypnotherapy.
Oh, wow.
I am going to incorporate hypnotherapy into my practice. So come November, I'm going to get the certification with Marissa Peer for hypnotherapy, because I recognize that, to fight cancer, you got to have that mindset shift, and the trauma and the limiting beliefs were getting in the way. And so as I was working through all that, so I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be part of my program. Yeah, I've got my whole year mapped out.
Wow.
And I got to tell you, Payman, it did not include podcasts, but I am so in love with this week.
Yeah.
It did not include, I don't even know if I have the capacity. I really don't,
Yes,
because I'm
you
moving
do.
to another state and I'm doing that certification and I'm in the middle of another certification. But I'm so in love with everything that I heard, and I could see it. I could see the path, right? I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I can see it. And I still don't know all the pieces, but I trust you. And I really like this group. I really like I'm a person, I'm an empath. I like the conscious way of marketing, of speaking, of being. Yeah, I'm not into the hard sell. That's because I like to meet people where they're at, and everyone's at a different place, and you don't know what people have gone through or are going through. So thank you. It's been an and I've been sick all week. So it's been an incredible week that I've had to sit here for hours, and I've just been blown away. I feel that this is a pivotal point of my career that I really need to think about and assess and see how I can incorporate it into my life. So it wasn't a hard yes. I want you to know, not because I didn't think you brought a lot of value, because I did. For me, is the time constraint that now I've got to see what am I willing to give up, and because I really see the value, and I love the people here, the energy. There's a good synergy here.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We love you too, in case you didn't know.
Yes.
Yes, we love you too, Zoraida.
Zoraida.
Zoraida, I gotta share a picture. Share a picture with you that I have with Marisa Pierce that I met her in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Oh, I met her in Estonia. Yeah, and let me
Wow.
tell you that women parties.
Oh yes, I know.
Parties, because when you go when you're there for a month, your vision is all about working hard and playing hard. It's
That's what life is about.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love it.
Zoraida, listen, absolutely honored. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I know it's not easy for you, going through a lot. It's an absolute honor. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, my soul, for you to make the time to be every evening. It's past 10:30 for you in the evening. So I know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. To answer your question, as I said, 1 hour on Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, and then 30 minutes from Tuesday to Friday of those 3 weeks, and then on the weekends or whatever. I'd be more than happy and willing to get on a call with all of you guys in the class to answer any question you may have about the content of the last week before we move on to the next week's content. And at any time, any question, we have a very active Facebook group and Messenger. Jaime and Irina on the group, among all the other amazing people. They're very helpful. And if there's something that's really bothering you, hey, shoot me a message. I'll jump on a quick call with you, quick Zoom call, because the one thing for me that is important that I definitely want to make sure to have in my program first, to keep it capped at a small number so I can give them an undivided attention and be accessible. Be accessible. This is what people pay for, not the information, the accessible, the touch. I'm sure most of you guys have been in programs where you could not get access to the actual trainers, coaches, or the guy behind it because they just don't care. For me, I'm not in the business of selling a bunch of memberships. I'm in the business of collecting success stories and making sure all of you guys get to go through it and have transformation at the end of it. So just my speech. Thank you for that. Irina, share with us briefly how things have changed for you as a result of you launch how many podcasts?
I have 2 podcasts. So first one is Single Parent Success Stories that started in March of 2020. We're going to be 4 years old coming in 2 months. And
wow.
It's called Reclaim Your Life with Irina, that I started after I finished Payman's challenge. I had it in mind for a long time and I'm kind of figuring out what to do. But yeah, I launched this finally in August of last year. I have a material enough for me to go for another year, because on that podcast I'm alternating. I'm interviewing people who had a wake-up call that suddenly changed the trajectory of their life, and what were the 3 lessons they learned as a result. So basically, the whole idea behind the podcast is to bring back hope. No matter how difficult anything is, there is a silver lining. There is light in the end of the tunnel. So I'm sharing tools, and I'm also bringing people to share their story, to inspire and bring back hope to others. I do want to translate in Russian, maybe. Most definitely the single parent one, because there is a lot of material and there is a lot of value in sharing people's stories, as well as all the expertise and tools. And as a result of meeting Payman, I also met Mary Gooden, and I realized my dream of becoming an author. I have completed 5 books, and I'm right now working on soul book, where I am just the writer myself, and it's gonna come out this year.
Hey, when you do your next book, do like what Jaime did. Invite Max to write a chapter. Seriously. Hey, Max, do you like writing?
Yes.
There you go. Done. Hey, you better do it, Irina. I'm going to hold you accountable.
Don't forget, there's going to be a podcast soon about me and you.
Hey, Irina, can I hire you, son? Max, when you're ready.
I love how the learning, the teachings, it just travels from one generation to the next. I love this story, and I love that your son is so in love with what you're doing, and who knows, seems like he's going to be the next podcaster in the family.
The best, one of the greatest gifts you can give to your child is involve them in your business as early as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Seriously.
I agree. Yeah,
Awesome.
thank you for sharing that, Irina. I had no idea how you met Payman.
I don't even know how we met. How did we met initially? Who connected us?
Through Serving Circle, through Tyson. Back in October 2020,
yes.
I joined Tyson's group in Australia in 2020, and we met with you maybe in December of that year.
And then you joined the class, in February, March of 2021, something like that? No, 22, sorry, 22.
22, yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I had an idea for the second podcast, but then I thought, I already have this one. Am I going to have time? Because I didn't want to produce something and then not be committed. I wanted to deliver every week. So finally this year I said, I'm doing it. And
that's so great.
Made it happen.
And you're launching a new a new podcast in Russian now?
No, I'm thinking to translate.
Don't think, just do it. You're a Wonder Woman.
Sure, I want to get paid for that. Then I'll do it full time.
Come back in the next class so you can learn. Come back to the next class, Come back to the next class so you learn how to monetize it, and you can, help also Max get going too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. I remember, Shay, you had your hand raised. I did not forget you. Go ahead.
I did, but I didn't realize I had it up and I put it down, but I think I put it up when I thought I put it down. But
okay.
I'm in awe. I'm just so excited to pull this together and just get it going. Likewise, I'm writing a book as well, so I'm following you guys. I've gotten inspiration from listening to everyone. I have a book idea that I want to do, and I'm going to make it humorous, even though it's about something serious, about abuse, but the transformation, and then taking a look back at what happened and looking at the people involved. And when you're out of it, you see things way more clearly, and you can almost laugh at some of the things that they try to convince you of. So I want to give women a perspective of, and even with the podcast, give women a perspective of, they hold their power and don't give it away to anyone, especially when they haven't proven success in their own life and they're not prepared for you as a partner. But some of the games that are played, pardon me for saying this, mostly with men who are the pursuers in those relationships, just things that they use to convince you of, that they're powerful. And a sharp, educated woman would be aware of these things. So I want to use some of my own stories to present that. I'm going to do it in the podcast as well as the book. But there's some things that are just absolutely ridiculous that if you had a sane mind and were committed to somebody's delusion, you would see clearly. So I just want to bring the humorous aspects out of those things, something different that no one's ever done before, because it's usually very dour and, stoic and reserved. And there's a lot of women don't even realize that they're not the only ones, because the game is to isolate so that no one knows. So I want to build a community of women who that one maybe have been through this and need some guidance to get through it. I mean, I'm super strong and independent. I've had people tell me, there's no way you're shy. There's no way you could have been suppressed by anybody, because even in just meeting, I met someone buying some holistic plants I have. They were like, how could anybody misinterpret you? Because you're so clear, you're so concise. And they said within 5 minutes, we understood who you were and what you stood for. It's about loving and serving. So, you know, but people are interesting. So I just want to pull the veil off of the whole thing and have people understand, you know, you own you, and that's it. But you need to be careful and discerning about who you let in your inner circle. And I have a couple books I'm going to write, but I want to podcast on these things too. So I will have both the written platform and then also the podcasting platform about relationships, relating to people. You know, who do you let in your circle? How and why and when do you discern? And the difference between emotion versus intellect when you're going forward in anything. So I've actually had some people who are ready wanting to podcast with me. I have a group that wants to start, you know, things with healing and awareness. And this could go in several directions all at the same time. I'm not really sure.
Oh yeah.
Shai, real quick,
know,
Shai, you have
Yes.
Shai, I'm sorry. I have to say this. You have such a great voice.
I
I
know.
do.
You project yourself so well, and like you say, so clear
Do you think?
that people understand you quickly.
There you
So
go.
you have it all already. I love it.
Oh my God, I
Seriously.
love you guys. Thank you
You
so
know,
much.
the topic that you're
Seriously.
covering is so needed,
Yes.
especially with
Yes.
young women. You know, if you get them in at the 11, 12, 13 years of age, because by then they're already insulated in their families, and the
Mhm.
families are usually where, you know, you start to develop who you are. Now it's all dictated by your role in the family and where you're born, right? And you don't know what you don't know. So you can,
Mhm.
you know, Nipsey Hussle says,
You're
if you
limited.
look at your circle and you're not inspired, you don't have a circle, you have a cage. And
Right.
so people don't recognize, and I'm talking from experience, you don't
Mhm.
realize you're in a cage because everyone that you are that surrounds you is the same way.
Right. Feed it.
But something happens, right? A divorce, a cancer diagnosis, it can be anything. And all of a sudden that shift comes in. And
Mhm.
now that person is the outcast, because now that person recognizes that they want more than what they've had, that they want to be different. So they need to hear everything that you're talking about. I love you, the premise. I would love to support it in any way, because yes, this is important, especially for females. And if you get them in at, you know, if a 12-year-old's listening, let her make the shift, because it's hard to make the shift at 50. It's hard to make the shift at 40, because by then you've had 40 years of dysfunctionality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I have been gifted in is to, even just in passing a waitress or someone in the grocery store, whatever, people have a tendency to open up to me within moments. And I find it uncanny because it can be everywhere and anywhere I go to. It doesn't matter if it's the mechanic, it doesn't matter, you know, men or women. So I have been able to see to the root of what it is that's bothering them or where their confusion is. And I speak directly to it. And I've gotten a lot of, you know, mouths open and eyes widened, like, how do you know this? But you just blew my mind right now, because one of the things that I was thinking of doing, I don't know if you guys heard of the Gabby Petito story. She was killed by her abusive boyfriend when they took a trip into the Midwest. She
Yes.
actually was living in my hometown. So we were impacted, like our community was rocked at the core. And I had initially thought, let me have a class for women that are pre-dating to make them aware of the gameplay. When a guy says this, what does that mean? And how to court, how to take your time in getting to know someone before you commit in a relationship, so that you know what he's all about, or she. And I've had plenty of men come into the circle as well. But my thought was to deal with people in the, you know, 17, 18, you know, to, I don't know, even 30s, and then have a different platform for women who have already been hurt, and are in that relationship, what do they do to survive and wrap their mind around it and to become independent? Those who want to stay in it, here's some things for keeping your own, you know, self safe. And then women who have been through it, been there, done that, divorced, you know, or he's gone somehow, which way, maybe she killed him, I don't know. But anyway, so she's trying to figure out how to date again, but even how to trust herself and relate to people. But you just brought in a younger audience to me, which might be a different podcast, a different group that would even speak to parents with their daughters or with their sons on how to treat women. So this is like blowing my mind right now of the different layers that this can be.
Yeah,
you know,
because
either
you know what?
better
It's
or
generational.
compartmentalized. Right, right. And that's the thing is I want to help, you know, clarify things. It's better to do the teaching before they get into that. But it's also easy for me to help a woman who's been in that situation look at what is hers, what is not, what's the lesson learned, what's not worth dragging around, and then focus on her purpose so that she's doing something good. Because the best cure to deal with depression, oppression, suppression is to have something functional in service for other people. It's healing, and you do it as an evolution, and then you become that person who was back there, and now I'm going to help those people. Like what Misha said about my thing is 2 rungs on the ladder lower. You know, we're all heading up, we're all climbing up, but you can help the person who's 2 rungs lower than you, get them up to your level, at the very least, while you're reaching out to someone who's 2 rungs higher than you. So, you know, I hope to network with all of you. You know, I think I've learned so much from everyone here. So I have to thank Payman for putting all this together, because this has just been incredible.
Yeah,
You
thank
are
you, Payman.
absolutely amazing.
Connected all of us.
I adore you, and I'm so grateful for everybody here. I want to talk to and keep in contact with as many of you as possible, as often as possible. So I'm hoping that, you know, as we continue this into this week in the group, we can figure out how to support each other.
Absolutely. Stay connected, guys. Again, the gold is in the networking, the people you meet. Maybe Zoraida and Shay, you guys can at least talk to see maybe you guys can co-launch a podcast together of targeting these younger, you know, teenage girls. That would be a phenomenal podcast.
Where are
And
you
let me
from,
just-
Zoraida?
I live in New York, but I'm moving to
Oh,
Virginia
Jersey girl
Beach.
in the house.
I'm moving to Virginia Beach in a few months.
Okay,
But
you're coming closer to me then.
Yeah,
I'm in
but
Florida.
I don't know if you recognize this, but what you're doing in your with your platform is you're helping women learn how to devote to self, so now they can teach their women, their daughters and their sons to have a devotion to self. Because when people have a devotion to self, they don't treat other people badly. So what I mean, I don't think you realize how powerful
You're
your
giving me
podcast
chills
is
here.
going to be, because you're going to change generational trauma.
Exactly.
Do you know that?
Yes.
And not
that is
only
a point.
that, Sarah, I'm sorry, not only that, Zoraida and Shay, I'm a father with a daughter. I can help her too through listening to you two ladies talk. Because it's 2 fathers for the girl right here, 2 gay dads, you know, raising a child. So I have to learn how to do this. So this is great.
Oh my gosh,
Wonderful.
Shay, I love to, you know, be your ear, whatever you need. So we should connect separately. Yeah.
I welcome it. Jaime, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
for your comment, Jaime. You just, you know, opened it up a little more, like, yes, there's other people out there.
I'm interested in listening.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what you have to say, because I have an 11-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She's got 2 gay dads, not a mom here. So I need to understand her and deal with her changes.
Jaime, an idea just came to mind. An idea came to mind.
Ah.
Why don't you start another podcast? How is it to raise a child with two fathers? The challenges.
Oh, she's happy.
Yeah, that could be an amazing podcast for you.
I'll be
I'm going to tell you. I'm going
I'll
to
be
tell you what.
Auntie Stay, so she can come to me or talk to me, or you can too. I'm here for you. I
Yes,
understand.
definitely. Thank you.
She can come to
I
me
know
too.
I'm gonna
have boys,
need
but
help. Yeah.
I have boys, but I can use a girl.
Before we
Do
leave,
you know what
I'm
Margaret
sorry.
means, Jaime?
Yes.
Do you know what Margaret
Margaret?
means?
No.
Means pearl.
Pearl?
She's a
Pearl,
jewel.
yes.
Yes.
You know,
I don't know
Shay,
why it came to me pearl. You asked me, but I didn't know. But the word that came to me was pearl.
I sent it to you.
Wow.
Shay, I want to
I
share
got it.
something.
It's
I
so
want to
funny.
share.
I got it.
I want to share.
Before we,
Yeah, go
oh,
We
ahead,
have a
Vera.
connection.
Vera,
okay,
Vera.
before we leave, and because we have fathers in here, I was very involved with the Fatherhood Initiative in Ohio, and I wrote a poem for dads that the city of Akron commissioned and gave to every dad that took their child to the zoo. So I'd like to share that with you before we get off the phone. And Shay, I really want to connect with you as well. Okay. Father, provider, protector, role model for a son, the image of the man that will be the husband of your daughter when that time comes. What's best for your children should be concern number one, regardless of any obstacles a father must overcome. Sometimes the injustices of our society towards many of our fathers can make it hard to stand, but you got to stand and be a man and a father to your children in every way you possibly can. Demonstrate their worth through you by the words that you say and the things that you do. Don't ever put your children down or call them out of their name. They may become whatever you claim. Lift them up to higher ground. Let their inner beauty be seen, be found. Show them and tell them how special they are. Be the light. Be the light. Be the light to take them far. Show them and tell them how much you really care and let them know no matter what, you will always and always be there. Pray that our fathers will be guided by the light to lead their children in ways that are right.
Beautiful. Can you please share
Yes,
that with us?
beautiful.
Can you share that with us?
Thank
Vera?
you.
Yes, it's actually on my YouTube channel.
Share the link to
Um,
YouTube,
Ah.
not only here, but also inside the Facebook group, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
That was
Facebook group.
powerful. That was powerful.
Yes.
Thank you.
What we have
Okay,
here,
I'll do
Shay.
that.
That's beautiful.
I have to go, guys. I have to
Yeah,
go
me
because I
too.
gotta put my
Before we go,
girl
can I
to
get you
sleep.
guys, can I ask you a quick favor? If you can just do a 30, 60-second video telling me, sharing with us what you thought of this week. How was it inspirational, informational, whatever? 30, 60 seconds. Let's start right now with you, Jaime, because you're the first to go. 30, 60
Well,
seconds.
this whole week, this whole week was amazing. I got to share my story, get to know more people, express myself, who I am, and finally, I'm feeling liberated of being able to express to the world, express my words that I couldn't express before. Now, I just whatever it comes out to me, I know that I'm gonna impact anyone in the world. So thank you, Payman. I love meeting every one of you, and much love. I am
Thank you,
blessed
brother.
meeting you all. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Pleasure to meet you. Good to see you again, Jaime.
Yes.
Thank
See
you.
We
Yes,
need to
good
And you're
talk,
doing an
Jaime.
meeting
amazing
you,
job with your
Jaime.
daughter. I just want to say that.
Sorry?
He's doing an amazing job
Oh, yes.
with his daughter. He's a great dad.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
How much,
Zoraida. Thank
how
you,
much you
Zoraida.
care about her. Yeah, it shows how much I feel it, how much you care about her.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And connect with me on Facebook. I know I have you as my friend. So, and Vera
Yes.
too,
Yes.
and Shay and Irina. So I already have you all
Yeah.
in my heart.
Okay,
Thank
well,
you.
Not just in my
thank you.
Facebook, but in
Same
my heart.
here. Thank you.
Bye,
Same
Payman. Love you,
here.
man.
Thank you. Thank
Love
you.
you guys.
Love
Zoraida.
you, man. Talk to you later.
Save the chat. Save the chat.
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
Yes.
The poem
If
is
I-
in the chat.
All right.
Save
Yes,
the
I will
chat.
post it. I will post it. If you please post it, Vera, inside our Facebook group. And I
I
will.
saved it so
All right. Cool.
Okay.
Zoraida,
I saved it so I can always share it with everyone as
Good.
well.
give us a
All
quick
right.
30-second.
Awesome.
Give us a quick 30, 60-second testimonial of your thoughts about this week, what you learned, how impactful, how inspiring, informational, all of the good stuff.
It's been a transformational week for me being at this podcast challenge. You know, I initially did it to support you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I had no idea how much value I was going to get because I'm in a transitional period with my new business, right? And I was trying to understand where should I go? How can I get you know, have the best value, and reach more people, because it's not about me, it's about the people that I can reach. And many people have told me that, and I should speak about my story more, and I'm getting comfortable with that. And, you know, looking at the steps that you provided, I feel that with your close guidance, because you're going to have to hold my hand on this, I think I can do this. I know I can do this. I could do this, right? And I'm excited for what's to come. So thank you. It
Pleasure's all
gave me
mine.
an option, right?
Having
It's
fun.
something to look at. Yeah.
Pleasure's all mine. It's an absolute honor. Absolutely love your story, your resilience, your will to fight, never give up, because you went through hell and come back. You said everything came down at once: divorce, cancer, what was it? Selling the house, moving, all of that, all at
Yeah.
once. Every single one of them is enough to take you down, but you had all of them at the same time and you still made it. Now that is an incredibly powerful story and gift. Speak
That's
it.
why I feel
Yeah.
that I'm supposed to be a cancer coach, because of everything that I've gone through in my entire life. There's a reason why all those things happen. And so I'm the learner, and then I'm the teacher.
Absolutely. This is your time now to shine and embrace, identify, and share your gifts with the world loud and proud.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
So
good. I should write this down. I'm recording it. Anyways, thank you so much. It's a right absolute honor having you with us. Shay, I love your dog. Tell us more about
Thank
your
you.
dog. I love
Here, you want to
dogs.
hear something funny? This is
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts. He was
Okay.
named up by the foster mother. I changed the spelling to the traditional spelling, but since he's been neutered, he's also unofficially known as Dunkin' Donuts.
Poor guy. How
And
old
he
is
break
he?
dances.
How,
He break dances. We call him Dunkin' Donuts.
how old is he?
He's 6.
Oh, wow. We
He
have
was a rescue. He was a bait dog. He was so chewed up when the foster mother got him. She said he had skin issues, but they were actually puncture wounds. They were so bad and so deep that it was like 3 months that I got him, and I put him on vegetables, coconut oil.
Oh, wow.
He eats like mangoes and bananas and peas and blueberries and all sorts of stuff. And his coat is gorgeous. He's a very healthy, happy boy, very
Oh,
easy to
yeah.
take everywhere.
I love dogs.
So
It's amazing. Give
he's a
us
sweetheart. I have his sister over there. She's chilling out.
beautiful. Give us a quick
Right now.
30, 60-second testimonial about this week, what you learned, how amazing, how fun was it, how transformational, and all the good stuff.
Well, I have been prompted to do a podcast for a long time, and I had to have the right situation, the right person, the right leader, the right teacher. And I'm just like blown away at the power that podcasting has, because you have made that very clear to me. Feeling comfortable with your teaching and your leadership is huge for me, because it's about service. My mind has been so expanded as to the outreach of a podcast and how I can reach people to educate them in a way that's exponentially explosive. I've been trying to do the Facebook thing for a while. I've had a couple of coaches, and everyone has their style. So it's a matter of how does it work? For me, you and I fit well. You inspired everybody here. You went step by step. You made it easy for me to wrap my mind around it, but better, you made it easier for me to see me putting myself into this modality as a way to impact people, inspire people, get clarity out there so that they can understand their own power and then turn around and do the same thing. So I'm inspired to have a geometric domino effect happen, a big tsunami through podcasting. I can see it now, and there's so many topics and options that I can speak upon. Where I'm located, want to give people a platform here in my community to share with people through their struggles, those who have gone beyond and those who are, still going through some things. And to be able to do this on a podcast, I mean, it's mind-blowing to know that I can reach people globally in a real life, kind of way. I would like to know if there's ways to do like call-in so you can take information and answer questions while you're, in the middle of these, types of shows. So I'm the type of person, I'm going to take something and I'm going to very tightly connect with you because I'm creative. So if I think that there's something else I can do beyond the norm, I'm going to challenge myself to it, to add to it, to decorate it, to do something different. So I'm eager to learn this, and I know that I can do it with you. So I am so very grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you for the clarity.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart, my soul. You're absolutely welcome. I'm still love getting to know you. We've known each other for 2 years almost, but for some reason we connected only now, and it's absolutely, everything happens for a reason at the right time, and right now is the right time. Absolutely love your passion, your vision, your story, your gifts. And yeah, absolutely loved having you with us this week. Thank you for making the time in your busy schedule to be here every evening with us for average of 2 hours tonight, almost well, it's past 3 hours. So wow.
Yes.
So thank you to be with us on a
There's the
Friday
after
night,
party.
thank you.
After party. Yes.
Best way to spend a Friday night, with people from around the world and with me, thank you. It's an absolute honor. I'm looking forward to having you inside the Academy and a week or so from now. And let's bring your gifts. Let's clearly identify your gifts and bring them to the world, just like with Zoraida, with Irina did, with Jaime and so many other people. So I'm really excited. And I'm when you were talking, I was getting goosebumps,
Good.
Sometimes I can't find the right words. I mumble because the words are too powerful. Sorry, the emotions are too powerful. So thank you. I'm honored, and I'm really blessed to be able to serve you and help you shine and brighter than you currently already are shining. That's what my purpose is about. Thank you so much. Now, Vera, my wonderful friend, we were supposed to have a call at 10:30. We're going to have it right after this call. So if you could give us a quick 30, 60-second, your thoughts, your views, testimonial about this week, my dear friend.
Okay. Well, I've had a podcast for the past 3 years, and I'm pretty comfortable with what I'm doing. However, coming into this mastermind or event really was an eye-opener in a lot of different ways. One, targeting my avatar, focusing in on my avatar. So that means that I may need to do another podcast because this one is pretty set and has been for the past 3 years. I do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I can do another one. Also, the guests that you had on were phenomenal, and I learned quite a bit from them as well. You were phenomenal. It's clear that you are very passionate about what you're doing, and so I'm looking forward to our meeting and talking about some things. But I really enjoyed being here. The synergy was fantastic in terms of all of the other people that were in this group, all heart-driven people, sincere about what it is that they're trying to do, having a passion for what it is that they want to do, and most important, wanting to make a difference in the lives of other people. And so this was just a great experience for me.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute honor, pleasure, delight having you with us. Thank you for choosing to spend your evenings with us. Well, you could have done many other things, especially on a Friday night. So thank you. I'm honored. And I hope I was able to provide you with enough value to serve you properly and to make your time worth it. And I'm excited
Absolutely.
to get on a call with you right after, as soon as we finish this. Give me 5 minutes to, I need to get.
Oh, no problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
no,
give
no,
you a
no.
few minutes.
To really get to know each other even better and see how I can serve you even at a higher level, deeper level. And I'd be honored to have you in the Academy as well to really get you going with a profitable podcast the right way. Maybe you can implement those teachings also to your existing podcast, because it's not rocket science. You just do a couple of tweaks here and there, and bada boom, bada bam, catching. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Last but definitely not least, Irina. the Wonder Woman. Oh,
There she is.
settings. So you've been 4 different settings. Driving, take the car here.
Quick change.
All right, exactly. You're a born starlet. All right. Give us your feedback, your thoughts, compliments about this week.
Payman, you're amazing and how much value you bring and how you're able to draw in the people that are heart-centered, and the speakers you had are amazing. And every time I join, I learn something new. So I get inspired even by, being in the presence, because it takes to see the greatness of what other people are doing, and you're going to pull in and do something else, something more. So I really loved, the monetization aspect that Jay was sharing, and I love his passion, kind of similar, like he was talking about that he had like immigrant background, and I think so it kind of related
like
to
you, yeah.
And today when Misha was speaking, a lot of stuff he mentioned, I went through as well. So it really resonated. And always you bring value by bringing the speakers and golden drop moments all throughout the 5 days. It's been amazing. And I love being a part of it. Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine. Spasiba хорошо. Thank you so much. It's always an honor. I love you. I love your energy, what you're doing. You're an inspiration. You're the best mother. Honestly, Max is lucky to have you as his mother, because you're phenomenal. You're incredible. You're amazing. You're the best. That's why I call you Wonder Woman. You should do another podcast, the Wonder Woman podcast, the Russian Wonder Woman, something like this. Now, seriously, absolutely floored. I'm blushing. I'm getting red like a shrimp right now. If you guys can see, it's not suntan. It's cloudy here, but I will gladly go for a walk by the beach. I need it. Still a bit chilly to go by the beach, but hopefully next week is gonna get warm. I miss the beach. So listen, thank you from the bottom of my heart, my soul, for all of you guys, Shay, Vera, and all of those amazing. On average, I couldn't believe it. We had 30 people on average each night without me doing. I don't have an email sequence for the proper. Louisa is a coach. She helps people run successful challenges. She's helping me. She was on me all the time, saying, "Listen, you need to get an email list. You need to email you people." I said, "Listen, I don't have time for that." And I did all of that with I had no audience. It's not even an existing big Facebook group. When I started this Facebook group 2 weeks ago, it had 0 people inside. I just invited the people I know, I've known to my podcast, and the rest has been magic. When you set your heart intention to do good, to serve, magic happens. The right people automatically, magically show up in front of you. And it's been amazing. And if I can give you one advice for all of you guys, for your businesses, run your own challenge. That's the goal, because a challenge allows you to get to, again, share your story, display your expertise, like a podcast, but at a much higher level, because you have more time and a short amount of time, especially if you're selling anything that's high ticket, because they want to know you. They want to get to see, can I trust this person? Most importantly, can I do it? Remember what I said on Wednesday? If you can make the other person believe that they can do what you're trying to teach them, 95% of the battle is done. Because sure, you did it. You're lucky. You're smart. You have all of this. But what about me? Can I do it? If you can make them believe that they can do it, 95% is done. And to do that, to achieve that, tap into your gifts, accept them, embrace them, and share them loud and proud. That should
amplify them.
But there you go. That should be my new tagline, So do that. And a challenge is the best way. Seriously, guys. Seriously consider challenge. Because if the big boys, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, Dean Graziosi, these guys are doing 7-8-figure launches. They're doing challenges because it works. Look at all the fun we had today with little me, with no audience, no list, no email. It's just one person. I'm going to be running another challenge in March. I need time to recover, plus run my class in February. But next time, you better believe I will be hiring a VA. I will be doing I will have a proper email sequence and all that. So again, guys, look into a challenge.
Yeah, I did.
I want you to hold me accountable to have one.
Well, do it, sister. Let's do it. Let's start first by getting your podcast, and the podcast is going to be the platform because honestly, the podcast completely changed my life. The reason I'm able to talk to all of you guys, make this beautiful friendships, changed my life by going from shy and introvert to being what I am now. Before, I never dared going on public without a hat. I was self-conscious because I have no hair and a big nose. Now I don't care because I realize it's not about me. It's about my
Everyone sees your heart anyway, just so you
That's
know.
it.
And
Thank you.
and you're adorable. You are.
Thank you. Thank you. But anyways, this is what changed, I'm looking forward to have you, not in Academy, but also Shay, book a time. I want you to get on my podcast. Finally, it's about time. I want to get to know your story. I know you've been blessed with an incredible story. Anyways, I'm going to shut up. When I get going, I can't stop. And it's 11 p.m. for you guys. I've been up since 6 o'clock. I had only a few glasses of tea, no food so far.
Nap time.
No, it's not nap time. I still have a call right now with this wonderful lady, Vera, after that we're supposed to have yesterday, but yesterday didn't happen. But today I have this call, and after that, I'm going to go treat myself to a gigantic meal, and I'm going to pass out after. Anyways, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for choosing to be with me, to spending your evenings this past week with me, especially on a Friday night. Doesn't matter if it's cold, if it's sunny for you, Shay, in Florida. Thank you for spending your time with me. It's an honor. I'm delighted and blessed. I'm grateful to be able to serve you, to inspire you, to empower you, to open your eyes to a whole new world, a world that completely changed my life. The reason I'm here, the reason I'm able to do with all of this is because of this thing. I always will do this first thing in the morning when I wake up, because that changed my
It's your
life.
best friend.
Absolutely. I still keeping the first microphone I bought. I was about to throw it away, but I kept it. I keep it. I'm going to be, as soon as I'm a nomad. I love traveling, but once I get my own base, I will frame that thing. I will frame it because that's the thing that that started the process. Anyways, enough rambling. Thank you guys. Love you all. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world, your presence, your impact, your gift, your smile, everything. See you next time. And I have a call with you. I have a call with you, Shay, on Sunday night for you, Monday morning here. Vera, right away.
I'm excited. I'm anxious.
Absolutely. Irina, book a call if you want to get with me to see how we can monetize all of your podcasts. And why not? Join us again in the next run of the Academy to get a refresher and get, level up your podcast. And if you join in, Max is going to be in as well as a guest, So anyways, thank you guys. Good night from the bottom of my heart, my soul. I love you guys. Keep shining your light. Signing out. Take care. Cheers.
God bless. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.